How's it going, man? It's going to be a good one, man. We got the Royal Rumble coming up.
I am back.
Yeah, we missed you, man. Missed you on the last podcast.
I was busy laying the smackdown on the COVID-19. I am good to go. Basically had a squash match with the COVID and I won.
That's what we like to see, man.
Yeah, so we got our Royal Rumble themed watch along this month. And this month, we had a couple votes, but out of those votes, Royal Rumble 2001. So we are rolling with that pay-per-view. Very good pay-per-view. It was a pay-per-view I was at live from MSG. But before we start, let's hit a little music. Why don't we?
Agility from the champion. Oh, deep six. That could be it. Delivers this deep six.
Good evening, everybody.
We are back. It's going to be a good one, man.
Absolutely. We are 1 week away from Royal Rumble 2021.
Finally, the good times. Good times for a wrestling fan.
Yes, I would say this is the best season for WWE all year round. Now we look forward to every year. Royal Rumble season, WrestleMania season, and then far after that, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam. So we always look forward to the first couple months of the year for WWE, especially.
Yeah, they need a good Rumble, that's for sure. AEW's definitely been some good competition since the last time we saw a Royal Rumble pay-per-view, and this is going to be the first one without fans. It's going to be interesting to say the least. I mean, I'm intrigued to see how they're going to handle, hosting the Royal Rumble in the Thunderdome.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but it's not going to be anything different than what we've been seeing the past couple months. It'll still be strange, though, for sure. Absolutely, the anticipation, the countdown, this annoying fans making those buzzer noises. That I won't miss.
That not this year.
I will not miss that. That can go away. But, well, for you fans, we'll give you guys that are watching along and listening about, another 30 seconds or a minute. You're going to queue up to Royal Rumble 2000 on your WWE network. And we are literally at the 1 second mark, ready to queue up and go. But we'll give you guys a couple seconds. Royal Rumble 2000 from Madison Square Garden. This crowd was hot.
Yeah, tell me about it, man. You were there. You were at Madison Square Garden that night. I mean, this is one of the controversial Royal Rumble finishes, with what happens here at the end that we'll get to. But I mean, this is a stacked card. There's some probably one of my favorite matches of all time with Triple H and Mick Foley, or as he was going by Cactus Jack, in a street fight. I mean, you got the tables match between, I want to say, the Hardys and Edge and Christian. I mean, there's a lot to unpack on this pay-per-view card.
Absolutely. Well, Tommy, you ready to hit that play button?
I'm ready, man. You get the countdown going.
Awesome. We're going to get the countdown going for you guys. As soon as we count down to, as soon as we say 1, you'll hit that play button and you'll be automatically synced with us. All righty? And if you guys lose track, whether you're off a couple seconds, we'll always update you as to where we are so we can be in sync. But alrighty, let's get it going. Royal Rumble 2000 edition of our watch along. Let's do the countdown. 3, 2, 1, and play.
I mean, this is the height of the Attitude Era, 2000s. Probably the best year in wrestling. I mean, what do you think when you go into this pay-per-view? I mean, it's a huge year for WWE.
Yeah, I mean Triple H and Stephanie, the McMahon Helmsley era was running wild. We knew Austin was going to be there. He was out on injury for quite a number of months. But WWE put on a great show. The Attitude Era was running on all cylinders. 99 had a great close. And this is basically Mick Foley's last run as a full-time wrestler. I thought we had a great pay-per-view, great kick to 2000. We're almost at the peak of the Attitude Era at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. This is kind of Mick Foley's. He kind of makes Triple H here in this match. This is kind of Triple H's first, coming out party, type of match.
Yeah, 99 into 2000 was absolutely Triple H's coming out party for sure. No doubt about it. This crowd is absolutely hot. Look at all this signage.
I think that's the thing you got to miss about the Attitude Era, is just the amount of signs in the crowd.
Madison Square Garden, and we welcome you live to New York City and the 2000 Royal Rumble.
This is when Jim Ross was doing some of his best work.
Yeah, now he's in AEW.
This crowd was absolutely ready to go.
Yeah, man, we talked about it during our last watch along, but what's it like being in that MSG crowd?
It's nuts. The anticipation is amazing. Always a buzz in the air. And now even more so because WWE doesn't go to the Garden as much.
Yeah,
but Madison Square Garden is one of the best crowds in all of wrestling.
Do you ever think they go back for WrestleMania here in the next few years?
It's tough. If the football stadiums are still getting attendance, they're going to keep rolling with the football.
Yeah, we saw them. I mean, they announced the next three: Tampa Bay, Dallas, and Hollywood.
Dallas is one I'm looking forward to. Hollywood, I'm looking forward to that. But the traffic for that's going to be horrendous.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle cutting a promo. He's going to talk about his 3 eyes. Maybe he had his 3 eyes at this point. We'll see.
And we all know that if we wait for Patrick Ewing and the New York Knicks to bring home a title, we'd probably be waiting forever.
And the Knicks fans are still waiting.
Yeah, this was the year they, right after they made it to the finals in the Strike Jordan season, if I remember correctly.
99 against San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah. See, we bring it all here on Deep Six. We bring football, we bring basketball, we bring wrestling, whatever you want.
Unnamed opponent.
Unnamed opponent. At this time, we kind of had an idea it was Taz.
Did you really see, and that's the thing. I think that's what's so cool about this podcast is there's such an age gap. I mean, you got to experience this live. Did you actually know that Taz was making his way over from ECW?
Oh, we had an idea. We had an idea. The rumors were running wild for sure for a number of weeks.
So what I want you to do is take a nice.
And I mean, back then, you don't have your wrestling dirt sheets, you don't have your, PW Insider, stuff like that. How did that news get around? I mean, how did those rumors kind of go around to people back in those days?
Well, the internet was a thing by this time.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as quick and accessible. Like I may have said last time, you had to run to the library if you wanted to find out the news. And there's also the newspapers too. There's a little wrestling articles here and there you get your hands on.
So is this is again me showing my age, but is that something that you think was more popular in those big markets, you know, the Dallas and the New York, the Chicago's, you know, places like that, or is that something that at that time was you could find in any newspaper around the country?
That I'm not certain of. I mean, you had like PW Insider and a couple of different wrestling magazines that gave a bunch of results and what have you, and rumors and stuff. Newspapers, I don't know how widely vast that was, but at least in the New York Daily News, it was always available. We think that the article was written by Vic Venom or Vince Russo, but it was written by a guy named the Slammer, and he used to give rumors, which a lot of times were false and sometimes were true. Here's Taz. Look how good he looks here. He was so over.
You know, that's the thing. You know, I was actually just watching AEW this past week, and they announced the Sting and Darby Allin versus Ricky Starks and Brian Cage match, and I was just thinking, man, Taz would be so good if he could get back in the ring. I know his neck injuries, you know, were a problem and kind of caused him to head to the commentary table, but I almost find myself never wanting to miss Taz on screen because he's such a good talker and he's such an enjoyable person to listen to, and man, I'd love to have been able to see more of his in-ring career.
You got to hit up that ECW WWE Network and watch the ECW footage. It's the only place you're really going to see it. I mean, Taz pretty much gave WWE a good 2 years of wrestling before he hit that commentary.
Yeah, he had a tag team championship run with, I want to say Spike. I want to say Spike Dudley.
I believe you're right. I vaguely remember.
Man, that was a good belly back suplex right there.
Oh, 3 count, but Angle's foot was on the rope.
I mean, and this is you know, you're talking about how so many people were knowledgeable of the fact that Taz is coming in. I mean, this is a big match for Taz. I mean, I'm pretty sure Angle's undefeated at this point going into this match.
Yes, yep.
But a smart move by Kurt Angle. Near the ropes, he used it. Oh, man. German suplex, belly to back suplex to the bridge.
Jimmy Corderas is the referee. Look how young he is.
I'll tell you. Kurt Angle. Angle in firm control.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Maybe it's just something that I've grown up with, but there's so few Madison Square Garden events in the last, you know, 10 years or so. I love the way the hard camera is positioned towards that ramp. You know, you got the entrance walkway, and you gotta, instead of looking at it from, you know, a different side like you normally do with the hard cam like you see in the Thunderdome, you got this kind of just straight on look at from the announce team's you know, point of view. And I don't know, I really enjoy that. I always thought that was a cool.
It's different. It's like AEW is doing right now.
Yeah.
Looking right at it. Angle is fading away. It's just a sleeper hold.
Taz got the Taz mission.
Taz's version, king of the sleeper. Yeah, well, his version is a chokehold. He's got his hand right across his throat.
Man, Taz gets to Taz mission, and again, we mentioned it. I mean, Angle is undefeated.
This match was about 6 minutes long.
Yeah. I mean, talk about a big rub. I mean, Angle is getting, you know, ready to. He came in and kind of had one of the best rookie years ever, and he's getting ready to start possibly one of the best years ever in 2000. I mean, he ends the year at a hell in a Cell main event at Armageddon, and I mean, he goes in this match undefeated, and he gets beat by debuting Taz. And I mean, it's not beat. I mean, they're bringing a stretcher out. They're bringing Sergeant Slaughter's coming out. I mean, they got everybody. He's really selling this.
May have been more of a choke than the sleeper. And Kurt Angle has yet to regain consciousness, and this is not good.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm concerned about Kurt's well-being, but
Jerry Lawler is concerned about Taz's well-being.
that was a choke.
That was a great opening match. Probably one of my favorite opening matches out of any Royal Rumble, to be honest. Wasn't long. The crowd was hot. It was an anticipating debut. Royal Rumble 2000 overall, arguably top 5 favorite Royal Rumble of all time.
Man, look at Matt Hardy. he's out here hosting with the private party, and look at young Michael Cole too.
Unbelievable.
And the Dudley boys drove the Hardys through tables in the middle of the ring, but it didn't stop there. The Hardys got some revenge on SmackDown this past Thursday night. Check out Matt Hardy from the stage over 10 feet to the
Oh, look at that.
through Devon.
Man, I wish they'd bring back that stage. I love that SmackDown stage. And I love the giant fist. I thought those were two of the coolest SmackDown stages.
I like the original stage for sure. It's just but the actual flooring of the stage with all the explosives, you know, it didn't look clean at all. But it would be cool if they bring back that little oval screen. Now that'd be great.
Everyone knows the Dudleys are the master of putting people through tables. We weren't even supposed to be in the WWF, but we are. And tonight, we're going to put the Dudleys through tables, or we're going to die trying.
I'll tell you what, this is going to be an amazing match.
This is the good old Empire State Building.
We are live in New York City in the Royal Rumble.
Tommy, you been to New York City?
It is brought to you by
I went once, man. I went for a choir thing. I got to sing at Carnegie Hall. I got to tour Madison Square Garden. You know, I got to walk in the. Why am I saying it like this? Yeah, I got to tour Madison Square Garden. Got to walk through the Knicks locker room, man. One of the coolest experiences of my life.
That's awesome.
I need to go back.
Never done that. I still never done that tour.
Yeah, we were in like back in high school. We were in like little groups, you know, of like 6 or so people, you know, trying to stay with the chaperone or so, and I was the only one who wanted to do it. So I went by myself and paid like, I don't know, $30-$40 to walk through, and it's so cool.
That's great. So I don't know if you noticed the taxi cab at the entrance there. They, if I'm not mistaken, I think 2008 there was something similar, like a different type of taxi cab.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, man. 08's another good one. I wish they'd go back, man. They need to go back to Madison Square Garden.
Backwards, the people in New York City are. You people actually cheer for those pretty boy punks, the Hardy Boys. But you have the nerve to boo a person, the greatest pitcher in the history of baseball, my new hero, John Rocker.
John Rocker.
Oh, that is great. Good heel work on that mic.
Yeah, man, you know, I was just watching something, and it was talking about, you know, like failed singles runs, and they're talking about Devon, and it's like, man, I always liked Devon. I love the Dudleys. You know, I have an older brother, so, you know, when we were watching this, we always tried to be the Brothers of Destruction or the Dudley Boys, and, you know, speaking of runs, I mean, Bubba Ray had a fantastic TNA run as a singles competitor. I mean, Aces and Eights, he's sometimes the leader, and I really wish Devon could have had that sort of run in WWE.
I think they were trying to head that way, and it didn't work out.
Well, they tried to do it with Reverend Devon, and they had Batista as his
Deacon
Batista. That's right, man. That is a devastating move right there. I love that move.
This is about to break down very fast.
The first table.
Wasting no time getting the tables.
These guys not wasting any time getting the furniture out. Remember, this is not for pinfalls or irrelevant. There's no disqualifications or count out here. The match only ends when both partners have been driven through tables. Okay.
Oh,
Jeff Hardy on his way to crash
that spot could have been botched very bad if they didn't nail that.
Man, How is that man still wrestling? How is Jeff Hardy still wrestling with all the shit we've seen him do? I mean, it just seems like every match that he has, he's taking some crazy spot.
Keep in mind, this match pay-per-view is 21 years ago.
And he's still wrestling. I mean, we saw him in that crazy, the triple threat ladder match with Sami Zayn and AJ Styles, where he got his earlobe like handcuffed to the ladder. I mean, it just seems like Hardy, like every match.
Jeff Hardy's had some pretty interesting storytelling this year.
I love this move. This is one of my favorites. And it gets absolutely destroyed before Hardy can hit it. He gets this table slammed right into his face.
Shot that table right in Jeff Hardy's face. No one has yet to go through a table. And remember, both partners must go through tables.
Matt Hardy and Bubba in the ring.
Well, we got plenty of tables. Uh-oh.
Bubba positioning that table in the ring now with Matt Hardy in a very precarious way. And now Bubba Ray.
Goodbye, Matt.
Bubba Ray on the second rope. Now Matt Hardy is up. Matt Hardy is up. There's his brother Jeff. Here comes Devon.
No, wait a minute. You don't think?
Oh, the double suplex.
No table.
No table. Devon moved the table away. That was a smart move by Devon. A painful maneuver on Bubba Ray.
So I guess this was officially a tables match, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I was thinking it was for the Terry Invitational tournament, but I think that was a few months before this. I think that was late '99.
Yeah, and I think the Hardys were in there too as well.
Yeah.
Edge and Christian.
Yes, that's what it was. I mean, man, talk to me about this. I mean, when we look at this, I mean, it's, of course, TLC it's become its own pay-per-view. It's, we just had it last month. It's the last pay-per-view of the month. I mean, we go into this Royal Rumble match, it's a tables match. It just come off the ladder match. I want to say it was No Mercy 99, if I'm correct. And I mean, 2 months later, they're having the triangle ladder match, and then you have your first TLC match. I mean, what is it like seeing this kind of destruction? I mean, this is such a new thing for WWE fans. Is this level of carnage? I mean, these two teams just put each other through hell, and I mean, especially with adding Edge and Christian, I mean, they tore the house down.
Yeah, I mean, by this time, the ladder match, the TLC matches were done a couple times already, so everybody was kind of anticipating spots like that we just saw.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, we get into, I know a lot of people talk about it. WrestleMania 2000 isn't the best pay-per-view, but it did spawn the triangle ladder match, which led into SummerSlam with the first ever TLC match. And it's just so crazy to look at how different these matches are from what we're seeing here versus what we saw just last month at TLC.
At the same time in a hostile mood on Bubba Ray Dudley, and Bubba is on. He looks like a drunk.
So they have to put Devon through the table. So both tag team partners have to go through a table for the other team to win.
Is that a rule still? I don't think they go with
Not
that.
necessarily still, but in this particular match it was.
Yeah, I like that. I don't know why I like that. I always liked, I always thought it was cool, but the old WWE games, you'd play like a steel cage match or something. It was a tag team steel cage match, and you couldn't win by just one of your partners going.
Oh, the tailbone.
Yeah, that had to hurt.
Oh, wow. Jeff Hardy came out of nowhere. They got to show the replay for that. That came out of nowhere.
I think JR just said, the match doesn't end because Devon didn't actually put them through the table. Damn, Hardy I mean, that's the thing. Hardy just does whatever, and he seems to just still be kicking. It's crazy.
I don't know how his career has lasted this long.
And remember, Devon Dudley's got to keep from going through a table here for the Dudleys to not lose.
Well, I don't think the Dudleys want this to end anyway. They seem to be enjoying themselves now.
Dudleys have an advantage here. Both the Hardys are down and hurting.
Let's see what we got here.
And the ring steps have been maneuvered into the ring.
I bet these guys did well with an erector set when they were little. Uh-oh.
There's going to be some erection destruction here.
Oh, I mean, that is just a brutal spot.
Looking to pour you through that table, and now we're down to 1-1. It's down to Jeff Hardy and Devon
Trust me,
Dudley. The next
Bubba
one
Ray
is
isn't just selling that for the crowd. I mean, he is
Bubba Ray, that's
for sure feeling the impact of that one, just putting Hardy through the
Have
table.
some sort of
Oh yeah, he's tired. Selling it.
reverse, enjoyment out of these tables, and that's a story that we may not want to know about.
So either Jeff Hardy or Devon has to go to the table for this match to end.
open. Last time by the Hardys.
This is amazing. Look at this. So it's down to Jeff Hardy and Devon Dudley. The next one of those two men that go through a table from an offensive move by their opponents will lose.
It's a rule they need to readopt. They need to do it to where they have tag team table matches. Both people have to go through the table.
The aisleway here are outdoor combatants. And this
Oh.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen a tag team table match.
Not a very safe place to be out there, guys.
Man, it really has. It seems.
I really can't even think of the last time because there's been
Yeah.
so many gimmick matches over the years.
Thus far, it's exceeding that statement.
There's so many gimmick matches. It seems like every month. Every pay-per-view's a gimmick match now.
The Hardys look like they've been in a bad car accident. Maybe a car accident.
They're building something over here, though.
What is Bubba Ray doing?
Bubba Ray's got one table set up.
This match has been going on about 10 minutes now, 11 minutes.
And Devon trying to keep Jeff and Matt Hardy beaten down.
Block those exits. What is he doing?
Bubba Ray
What is he doing, Jerry? They're building to the finish. That's what they're doing.
Rearranging these tables. I have no earthly idea. And there's a low blow. You saw that pretty clearly there from Devon Dudley.
Low blow to Matt Hardy.
I don't know about the Hardys.
Oh, they're going 3 tables on this. Oh, shoot.
Or
Or are they doing 2 and 2?
open him.
Especially in this type of match.
Bubba Ray is instructing his partner, his half brother Devon.
What's he doing?
Oh,
Those chair shots just hurt every time, man.
oh.
His brother out of this predicament, but
You don't see chair shots like that anymore.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Bubba's got Jeff Hardy by the hair. Remember, it's down to Jeff Hardy and Devon Dudley. The next one is up to a chair. Well, this match will be over, and so might some careers if they haven't already been shortened here tonight.
Sure, these guys are up in the balcony here.
You know, this is one of those things, you know, with the Royal Rumble, the one that was at Chase Field when they used
Hardy, not Jeff.
low blow right there.
Jeff Hardy, the low blow to Bubba Ray.
Oh!
The chair shot right to his head.
Look at
And Bubba's really looking. Oh my God! Bubba Dudley went through 2 tables.
Man.
But they didn't open the door.
Yeah, but Bubba's already gone to that table.
Bubba just fell through 3 tables right there. I mean, he got Hardy smacked the shit out of him with that one. They're setting up Devon here on their final table.
Oh, here we go. Oh, it's a train wreck.
I mean, how does he do it, man? He just hit a swanton bomb off the top of the ramp through a table, and he's still wrestling 21 years later. He's dumped his brother over the top there. That was kind of funny.
That was a train wreck. Do you think it is possible that we could see the Hardy Boys or the Hardys in AEW before one of them retire?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I'm wondering how long Jeff's contract
Never.
is.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is you can never say never, but I don't
Can't
know
be
what
that
Jeff-
long.
I mean, it seems like he's still, being featured. I know he just had pretty sure he was just on SmackDown last night.
Imagine, I can see it happening. To you fans that are listening right now, you heard it here first. Don't be surprised if we see a Young Bucks versus Hardys match. I don't know when, but don't be surprised if the Young Bucks are the team that the Hardys face last.
But do you think that would live up to the hype? I mean, 10 years ago, 5 years ago even, I'd be all over that match. But I mean, let's say Jeff's contract doesn't end until the end of this year. He's got this 6-month no complete cause.
I don't know if it would live up to the hype. Like, I wouldn't expect like the greatest tag team match ever, but I think just to see the four of them in the ring together would be something.
Oh, for sure.
Is Kurt Angle here acting all concussed?
That's illegal. They're not allowed to do that. I don't know about that. I'm undefeated. Did I win? I don't know. All I know is that you were choked unconscious. That's what we're here to help you out. Listen, you look a little
So if I'm not mistaken, I think Kurt Angle continues on with the undefeated moniker for a couple months, and I think he faces Benoit and loses to Benoit. Him and Benoit
have
I think him and Benoit have a match at 16 or 17. I'm not sure.
17.
Okay, so it must have been. Was it Jericho, Benoit, and Angle in the triple threat?
Jericho and Benoit fought in the ladder match at 01. And then, look at Sergeant Slaughter. Look at that haircut he's rocking right there.
This is the lingerie contest.
Yeah. Only in the 2000s will you find this shit.
The World Wrestling Federation Women's Champion and Hall of Famer, the
Fabulous Moolah.
Former WWF Tag Team Champion and Hall of Famer, Johnny B. And Hall of Famer,
Johnny Valiant. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. Classy Freddy.
Okay, so Angle's match at WrestleMania 16 was for the Intercontinental and the European title.
That's
Kurt
right.
Angle, Benoit, and Chris Jericho.
Okay, so you were right, yeah. I know that Benoit and
17, yeah.
Benoit and Angle, I mean Benoit and Jericho, honestly all three of them, they have a hell of a series of matches against each other.
Oh, yeah. Jerry Lawler is having a time of his life right now.
I'm sure this was he couldn't care less if it was the Royal Rumble or Sunday night. He heard a swimsuit contest. That was all he cared about.
Not my favorite person right here, to be honest.
From a wrestling standpoint, or just from an in general standpoint?
Persona, everything. Looks, not my favorite.
Now Terry.
Former Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes is Cody Rhodes' former sister-in-law.
Man, that's right.
Another one that's not my favorite.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of Jacqueline, and they tried to make Jazz. Jazz reminded. I've been watching 2002 back, and they kind of tried to make Jazz a.
Yeah, she wasn't getting over.
Higher pushed, and I was just never a big fan. And maybe that's just because of how wrestling was. I mean, when you look at who it was back in the 2000s, I mean.
So
really,
Baby's name is short for Barbara Bush, by the way.
I did not know that.
If I'm not mistaken.
But yeah, man. I mean, 2000s women's wrestling it's just so different from when you look at it now. Obviously, I mean, we have the women's revolution, but really the only names that really stand out from the 2000s are Trish and Lita.
Tommy, is this your favorite right here?
I'm not the biggest Luna Vachon fan, sadly.
Oh yeah, 2000s women's wrestling was definitely headlined by Trish and Lita for sure.
But it's like, you know, the point I was trying to make was you look at it now, it's like you have a full roster of females who I believe can probably make it to the Hall of Fame. And I know that the Hall of Fame is, you whatever, you know, it's nothing compared to like the professional sports Hall of Fames. But I mean, the four horsewomen, I think Bianca Belair is going to win the Rumble this year. And I think she's going to start a really solid year for herself. Yeah, you're talking about Jerry here. I mean, Jerry's looking at his wife in a bikini.
This is not a good selection of models at all.
Was Trish not in? Oh my gosh, Andy Richter. WWE really likes to use their celebrities. We saw them use Andy Richter this year, and they used gosh, who was in the Drew Carey in the 2001 Rumble.
Not a good selection of women right here, to be honest. No Sable, no Trish.
But
Tori wasn't here at the time.
yeah, neither was
Stacy.
Stacy. Yeah. I don't know. You're saying it's lacking of star power. I think there's one more name that we forgot.
Who's that?
Hey man, I got no problem with Ivory. I didn't like her in Right to Censor, but this is definitely 2000s WWE right here. 32 minutes into a pay-per-view, and there's a diva swimsuit contest.
Very enjoys this, I'll tell you. Well, how do you do?
Yeah,
I bet you Jerry Lawler is one of those people that ran like a strip club, that owns a strip club of his own.
Yeah, him and the Godfather had some workings in.
I wouldn't doubt it for a second.
Well, you know, Godfather. I don't know if he still owns it, but I know he owned a strip club. Maybe that's where he got all the hoes.
That's right, where he got his gimmick from.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, you're talking about how Jerry's, you know, kind of in heaven right now. If you hear Jim Ross's commentary, I mean, he just seems so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jerry Lawler is losing his mind.
Get rid of win.
No charisma whatsoever.
Yeah, I've never heard of this diva. I've never. This is the first time I've ever seen her. I have no idea who she is.
She was around for a little while.
Gosh, I mean, that is just some 2000s commentary right there.
Somewhat reluctant as well, much like Ivory.
I guess what you see is what you get. Okay.
You got to love Jerry though. You know, he's having fun with it. He's a little bit of a weirdo, but
Let's see what we got.
like he doesn't already know.
We want to see it.
At least at this point.
Bubble wrap.
I'm
That
sure
was the
Jerry.
original.
You know, they were married at this time, so I'm sure Jerry made. We're going non-PG here, but I'm sure Jerry made her take that off when he got home after the show, or put it back on.
Now in the hands of the judges, we've Face it.
Ah, here we go.
There's one more
There's
contestant.
one more. You're talking about the lack of star power. We got a star power right here. Miss Mae Young.
This cannot happen.
You hear JR is like, this cannot happen.
Hey, Young!
I have to imagine, man, and I've heard nothing else, nothing but great things, but I have to imagine that Mae Young was just the biggest sweetheart.
This contest isn't over yet. I'm in this thing.
Wait a minute. It looks like we have a late entry. Mae Young wants to be in the Miss Rumble 2000 swimsuit contest.
Say that again. Late entry.
All my fans out here wants to see my puppies, and they're
Oh, no,
going
Mae.
to get to see my puppies.
Wait a minute, Mae. I don't know if everybody wants to see you.
Thank God I was sitting on the opposite side. My friends were sitting on the front side, so they saw whatever they're about to see.
I'm ready for the cooking Sherry again. She's had a mint tonight.
But yeah, man, I've heard nothing but good things, but I just have to imagine that Mae Young was just the biggest sweetheart to be around. I mean, she just seems like she's so much fun. She's been in so many great angles.
Okay, Mae, that's good.
Look at Freddie Blassie's clapping in the back.
Oh, I guess you're only a 17.
Hey, wait a minute.
She must be
No,
about
not the
17.
puppies. No, not the
Hey,
puppies.
you're not gonna-
Say no. Just say no.
Don't do it. Oh my gosh, don't do it. She's doing it.
She's on zipper top. Wait a minute, Mae. No. It's on zipper top. No, don't you go. Don't you go. Oh, no.
This will sound like a stupid question, but I'm certain because they censored it. She actually showed off the real things, didn't she?
At some point, yeah, she did.
Look at Mark, sexual chocolate. Yes, they definitely did because you saw the little censor bar right there.
Judges,
I have a bad dream tonight, I think.
it's in your hands. Do we have? Please.
Look at Freddie Blassie cheering Mae Young on.
And the winner is
Again, Freddie Blassie's still clapping. I love it.
Back to the judges' scorecards.
We have a unanimous decision. The judges have ruled that the winner of the Miss Rumble 2000 swimsuit contest is Mae Young.
It's May.
Put him out.
Oh my God! I can't believe it! I can't believe this! I think we've seen it all.
I mean, this is like the fourth time they showed this.
Luna Vachon was gone. She just went out the door. She didn't want any part of this.
So Mae Young is the unanimous winner of the first ever Miss Rumble swimsuit competition.
Oh my God.
Folks, we warned you, it could be a little risque, but how in the world could we have ever dreamed of
Overall, not a great selection of women in this. I
I
wasn't a
think
fan.
you just keep disrespecting Mae Young here. Mark Henry obviously sees something. I mean, she won, so
WWF's new site-based entertainment complex.
I love it. I love May. I just
There
I've
it
heard such great
is.
stories about her.
WWF New York. Hey, the coach.
Isn't that owned? I'm pretty sure I heard that's now like a Hard Rock Cafe.
Yeah, it turned into a Hard Rock Cafe, which I'm not too sure if is even still there. I haven't walked by there in a while.
China, relax. All I want you to do is snap my belt around my waist so I can wear it out to the ring.
Well, why don't you be chivalrous
for once in your life and let me wear the belt for it.
Chivalrous? What do you think? This is medieval
Oh, no,
times?
but at least you could be a
I want
gentleman.
to take one gentleman. You're up next. Let me settle this. I'm going to take it to the ring. And when you guys get there, we'll find out who is the undisputed Intercontinental Champion. Okay?
Earl.
Come on. Dave.
I forgot about this match.
Dave, excuse me. Man, Dave and Earl look the exact same. You really can't tell them apart.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I should have around my waist now, but I can't do that either.
So, I believe we're going to get a match. Jericho versus China for Intercontinental title. Coming up right after this.
These WWF athletes are highly trained professionals, and none of their moves should ever be tried in home, the backyard, anywhere else, but in the ring. And especially that move Mae Young just pulled. JR, I don't think I'll ever be the same. I'm scarred for life. Before we come to, oh my God. Skip for one fall. It's a triple threat match. For the undisputed.
Oh, is Hardcore Holly? Is that who I think this is?
Yeah.
Weighing in at allegedly over 400 pounds, Hardcore Holly.
Hardcore Holly was a good wrestler, man.
Hardcore Holly, the challenge for the Intercontinental title.
All right, so we're getting Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho Holly in China.
So it was a triple threat?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Yeah, man, I always enjoyed Hardcore Holly. Never had the charisma, but man, he could go in the ring. I mean, it is kind of hard to come back from Sparky Plug, from a gimmick like Sparky Plug.
Oh, gosh. Spark Plug Bob Holly. Thurman. He was called Thurman Spark Plug Holly in the beginning. And he quickly changed his name.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, you look at all the people who had some bad gimmicks. I mean, really the only person who's ever really come back from a bad WWE gimmick that I can think of is Kane, you know, with Isaac Yankem. But, I mean, Sparkplug Holly, I mean, Leaf Cassidy, I mean, Al Snow had his success, and of course everybody had their minor successes, but I think Kane is the best example of a guy who turned an awful gimmick and kind of changed his career around after.
Oh, absolutely.
Speaking of we were talking about Hardy. Speaking of a wrestler still going at this point, I mean, Chris Jericho is still going strong, leading the Inner Circle.
Look how young Jericho looks compared to what we're used to seeing now.
Yeah, now he's older and fatter.
By the way, he looks awful on Dynamite.
He does.
He looks awful on Dynamite. AEW Dynamite was just not a good show this past week.
Yeah, I agree with you. I honestly
not a good week.
Kind of caught myself tuning out, and that's saying something. I mean, Dynamite. It's not like, you know, this is a string of something like it's, you know, Impact back in 2010 or something. It's you can't expect them to have a, you know, kick-ass show every week. But yeah, I agree. This was probably one of the first episodes I can remember it like kind of being a slog to get through. There just really wasn't a lot on the card this week that I was too interested in.
That it will never, ever be forgotten
again.
We're going to find out who the undisputed Intercontinental Champion is here. China made history last year at the Royal Rumble by becoming the...
This is one of the best shapes that China was in.
She's back this year as co-holder of the...
She thinned down a little bit.
Another first. She has broken more ground than any...
I mean, yeah, man, China had some great matches to end her career. I mean, she has that match against
Hardcore Holly,
Jeff Jarrett.
I'm one of a chauvinist at heart.
Yeah, she had matches with Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, Eddie. Yeah, she had the feud with Guerrero. She was involved in that.
So if I'm not mistaken, Jericho and China are co-intercontinental title holders.
Yeah. Look at a young Mike Chioda right there.
China catapulted right over the top rope to the floor, leaving
China was so good, man. She could really bump in the ring. I think that's something that's very underrated about her career. You know, she was brought in DX to be the muscle, and then she kind of went on her own way, was a women's champion, and then got put into fighting with the men, you know, with the Royal Rumbles and the Intercontinental Championship feuds that she had. And I always appreciated China's in-ring ability. I think that is I enjoyed the fact that they put her with men and kind of did the intergender matches. And I mean, we saw them try to recreate that with that Phoenix.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed China's in-ring work. I think that's something that a lot of people
take for granted.
Don't give her a lot of credit. Yeah.
I'm not looking for a date with it, but she is. You gotta admire her. Spunk. I mean, obsessed for life. Oh,
Holly was a great in-ring worker. He just couldn't get over.
He just wasn't as charismatic as he should have been.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had big matches. I mean, he's had, you know, he fought Lesnar in 2002. I know he had some feuds. I know he had a few matches with The Rock, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he was always in the mid-card scene. He just never could seem to get over that hump. And that sucks because he had this issue. He really was. I really enjoyed Hardcore Holly's in-ring work.
Yeah.
He was stiff as hell, though. I mean, he beat the shit out of you every match.
Nice baseball slide through by China, running his mark on Hardcore.
But I mean, yeah, I know he broke his. I want to say either 2002 or 2003. He broke his neck in a match with Lesnar and came back and not main evented, but had a match with Lesnar at the I want to say Royal Rumble the following year.
Tosses holder along with herself the Intercontinental title back in the ring. I love this move.
That's incredible. Incredible athleticism.
That would have been 2004 if he had that match with Lesnar.
Was it 04? Because I thought Lesnar was the pay-per-view that Goldberg.
Well,
no, you're right. Yeah, because
Lesnar won the Rumble. Yeah, Lesnar won the Rumble 2003.
Yeah,
January. And yeah,
well,
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, because that's right. Because he lost the title in No Way Out.
Yeah, that would have been February. Ooh, that would have been.
Yeah, you were right. He defeated Hardcore Holly for the Yeah, I mean, he had a WWE Championship match on a Major 4 pay-per-view. I mean, that's not a lot of people can say they did that.
I was there for that. I didn't remember that until now. But I know Triple H versus Shawn Michaels was on that card. This was in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Not very far. Benoit won the Rumble.
You can't say that.
That did not look good.
China and Jericho were on top of the cover. And that would have been some controversy there. Both would have pinned Hardcore Holly. Oh, man. And Jericho and China now. How much more controversy can it get there? They're already co-champions. You're right. Uh-oh. Trying to create some offense with Jericho.
Oh.
Again, China was just so good in the ring. She was just, I mean, that handspring that she did earlier, she hits the landing right there and goes into a low blow.
Trying to use Triple H's pedigree. That's going to be all.
Oh, wow.
Holly got his right shoulder just off the canvas. Not really a kick out, but the right shoulder came off the canvas. Well, China's certainly in control here. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Watch yourself. No. Uh-oh, China, Holly.
Oh, China. You got to go for like a victory roll or something. Ooh. Oh, wow. Oh, that was a close pinfall there.
Amazing resilience by China. Down goes Jericho. A kick right to the face.
That's some shades of Doomsday device right there.
Champions are in a bad way here. But wait a minute, Jericho quickly back up. See, bad for hardcore.
Superplex coming up. Uh-oh.
And Turner.
Now, China has something to say about that.
A straddle of the top rope. And Holly is still feeling it.
See what China's up to here.
Got them both there. Let me give a new definition of the word Sopranos.
Down and out the front.
Man, that's a throwback right there. I think Sopranos debuted like a year before.
Uh-oh. Turner.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of binge watching Sopranos, by the way.
Really? That's a great show.
Holly's got the cover.
Wow. Yeah, I'm almost midway through season 5.
Ooh, okay. So you're getting into the good stuff. You've had some good stuff happen so far.
Part of the Sopranos was taped over by me within a couple minutes away.
Really?
One of the episodes, which I haven't even gotten to yet, was filmed out of the Long Island Railroad in Ronkonkoma train station, which is only a couple minutes away from me.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah, it was on the later part of season 5, or it could have been 6, maybe.
China with the-
Randy lives near the Sopranos house.
Really?
Yeah, I looked it up.
God, he could never hit that move like that anymore. and again, that was another good match. I mean, we see Jericho get the win here with become the undisputed Intercontinental Champion. No more disputes with China. No more sharing the title. But I mean, that was a good, solid match for what it was. I mean, it's 2000s wrestling. You know, you're gonna get your quick matches, not a lot of story. And I thought this match had some good action for what it was. I think that was only six to 8 minute match right there, and it was good for what it was on the card. I think that fit in really well for what, you know, we only have 3 matches left, I think, and
I think they worked very hard for the amount of time that they were given.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, taking out back to the locker room area to our colleague Michael Cole.
Rock. Tonight, you and 29 other guys are going to go into that match.
Gosh, what I would do to listen to a new Rock promo.
Wait till WrestleMania 39.
9. Yeah, exactly. 39. Yeah. A few more years.
The Rock has come back to New York City.
Rock tonight,
Oh, shoot.
29 other superstars.
I think I just saw myself in the crowd.
You have a bullseye on your chest. Is there any superstar who you may be concerned with?
Well, The Rock says this. There are 2 WWF superstars who The Rock has a concern with. There are 2 who might give The Rock problems. Number 1 is going to be Crash Holly. Number 2 is going to be Headbanger Mosh. And The Rock says if he could get by those 2, then he might have a shot at winning the Royal Rumble.
There's nobody does the promo better.
With all due respect,
I mean, maybe outside of
I'd be a little
Austin,
more
but
concerned with, say,
and Punk. I think Punk is up there too. But man, The Rock's promos
You
just
should be concerned with fixing yourself.
I feel like there's something that makes you laugh, where just one of the most charismatic things you can think of that he just says in every promo.
Rock was consistently the best promo guy of all time.
Yeah.
Do you actually think that you're going on to WrestleMania and becoming the WWF champion? Well, The Rock says this. He wipes a monkey's ass with what you think. Big Show, The Rock says this. He's going to go out there in the middle of the People's Ring, Royal Rumble. The Rock's music is going to hit. If you smell, and 20,000 Rock fans all stand on their feet, goosebumps on their arm, electricity going through their body. The Rock says this, as God, as The Rock's witness, he hopes, he prays that you, Big Show, and The Rock are the last 2 in the ring. So The Rock thinks, no, he knows, no. The Rock guarantees to win the Royal Rumble right here in New York City.
That is a huge guarantee, King. Wow. They smell what the Rock's cooking out there.
The commentary is just unmatched.
Sure as The Rock is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best there ever was. The Rock says, as sure as The Rock has a Brahma bull tattooed on his arm, is as sure as The Rock it's going to WrestleMania and becoming, without a shadow of a doubt, the best damn WWF champion there ever was. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Rock making another guarantee that this
And
Maybe
we've
we're
been-
just talking about, the possibility of The Rock showing up at WrestleMania 39. I mean, what's your opinion on the fact that this year we're going to have another 2-night WrestleMania?
I don't know, man. I don't know how they're going to do it this year, to be honest.
I kind of, I'm like in the middle on it because last year's tough. I mean, it was for what it was. I think last year was a great pay-per-view. For all the coronavirus and everything, no fans and all that stuff. I love the cinematic matches. I thought they were both great. And I also really enjoyed. There was something to look forward to for 2 straight days. I mean, you had a 3-hour pay-per-view, basically for Saturday and Sunday, and I really enjoyed that. But I just really don't know. Maybe they'll surprise me, but I just don't know if there's a lot of stars compared to last year. I mean, you had Rollins and Lesnar.
Well, Rollins will be back. Lesnar will be back.
Do you think so? You think they're coming out at the Rumble this year?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure some will come back.
There'll be some call-ups, too.
I just it's going to be tough for them to make a card this year, in my opinion. I mean, you got to think this is the first.
Well, you got to shorten up the show.
Yeah.
By an hour.
So instead of
you
3 hours,
can't do any more than you can't do 2 4-hour shows. You got to keep it at 3 hours tops. None of this pre-show stuff.
God, I hate the pre-show.
Now, and then the other thing is, how they're going to do it this year is still to be determined. Are they going to give fans the ability to buy 2 nights or only buy 1 night, but then you don't know which night you want because you're not going to know which card it's going to be?
And that's the thing is we
very, very interested to see how they're going to do it.
I think this year will be different. And again, it's WrestleMania.
I'm not going to allow any more than 20,000 in there.
Yeah, I think they just announced the numbers for the Super Bowl. I think it's like 25,000, and then like 7,500 are like free, like vaccinated healthcare workers and stuff.
7,500 people, I think it was, and it's for essential workers like the healthcare.
They're like vaccinated and stuff, but. Yeah, I could see 25,000, and that's fine. We've had WrestleManias with less, but not in a big stadium setting.
It's gonna be weird.
But it'll still be. I still think it'll be better than last year. I mean, you don't have to.
They're gonna darken the crowd.
You think so?
I think they're gonna darken the crowd just to kind of make it look like New Japan, sort of. Just kind of make it look full a little bit.
I still think it'll be enjoyable. I mean, again, I don't want to act like negative Nancy. It's a tough situation to be put in, with the pandemic still going on. But I mean, WrestleMania is WrestleMania. Even if it's a bad WrestleMania, I still think it's an experience to watch one, and especially with the network, it makes it a lot more easier. But yeah, man, I'm middle on it. Maybe my opinion will change after the Rumble. Maybe there'll be some surprises next Sunday.
I wonder what the details are going to be. For sure. I'm just trying to figure out if I'm going to go this year or not. It's going to be interesting.
Somebody better jump off that pirate ship, though.
Oh, that's happening.
It's going to be Owens. It's going to be Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens and Rollins.
Before they can get to this match. And it didn't work, did it?
Probably not Rollins, the baby.
So we got Acolytes versus Road Dogg and Badass Billy Gunn for the WWF Tag Team titles here.
It's kind of weird that I think this was really the first match that got outside of the party match, that got a pre-match promo.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird match to get a promo. I mean, no disrespect to these two teams, but these, the tag team division at this point was very scattered, I'd say. I mean, there's a lot of tag teams at this time.
Yeah, there was a decent amount of tag teams at this time. You can't forget we just saw Hardys and Dudley Boys, and then there was Edge and Christian, Mosh and Thrasher, Rikishi, Too Cool.
Yeah.
So you had 8 or 9 tag teams easily.
And it's just also, you don't, especially in today's days, you don't really see a lot of tag team matches get pre-match promos. Another wrestler who's still kicking it is Billy Gunn. Man, that man looks in fantastic shape. I don't know if you've seen some of his matches on Dark.
No.
He's in good shape. Look at X-Pac.
X-Pac, such a great talent. Famous, sir. 2, 3. So they had to kind of hurry up that. They had to hurry up that match. They started that match quick.
Yeah.
I guess they realized they were running out of time.
Yeah, because they got some main event matches coming up here.
5-minute match for a tag team title match. Unbelievable.
Again, very, very 2000s of WWE.
Badass Billy Gunn almost got over the main event status. Almost.
Yeah, they tried.
He was right there.
They tried. He won the King of the Ring, right?
No, I don't believe so.
Maybe he
main evented the King of the Ring though against The Rock, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe he did win.
Let's look.
That is a good question. If he did, it would have been 99.
It was 99.
It would have been 99, and then he would have, because he faced The Rock at SummerSlam. But you're right. Triple H winning the the main event title match against, I guess it was Foley.
He did win the Rumble. He defeated Shamrock, Kane, and X-Pac to win they're not the Rumble, the
King of the Ring.
King of the Ring. Yeah.
Triple H won the title on January 4th, first Raw of 2000.
Finish your career.
It's weird, to think about it, 21 years ago, but Triple H still really wasn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Triple H defeated Big Show January 4th of 2000. Win the title.
Yeah. But yeah, like at this point, I mean, Triple H was in DX, and he was a main event player, but I don't think he was really made until this string of matches that he had with Foley.
Yeah.
It's the street fight, and then next month he has the Hell in a Cell match at No Way Out. I mean, these matches made Triple H into the main event player that he is, or that he was, I guess. So we don't know if he's still wrestling. I mean, I guess he did have a match on Raw a few weeks ago.
You want me in the Garden? You want me in the Rumble? You're damn right I want your ass at the Rumble. You got it.
The McMahon Helmsley era helped make Triple H. His matches with Foley. With Stone Cold being out for a good part of 2000, that's where Triple H stepped up right into the main event scene
Monday night. One thing mankind is not ready to face.
I love this promo. I think this is one of the best pre-match promos WWE has ever made. I think it's right up there with WrestleMania 17, Austin and Rock. And
Oh, yes. WrestleMania 17, Austin Rock that promo.
My Way,
to
with Limp Bizkit playing in the
one
background.
of the greatest video packages of all time.
And then, I mean, I think it's this one's up there with that one, and I think it's up there with Shawn and Taker at 25, and even at 26. I think both of those were excellently done. I think that's something that WWE doesn't get enough credit for is their documentaries and their video package and their editing team are. I mean, it's all top notch. Their stuff is really good. Oh. But yeah, man, isn't that crazy? We were just talking about Triple H. I mean, Triple H just had a match on Raw. I mean, he's in the main event. Drew McIntyre goes out with COVID, and they, instead of calling on a guy like Aleister Black or Ricochet or a young guy, they call on Triple H. Tells you how much WWE is in tune. We bag on WWE a lot on this show, but we're fans. We're excited for the Rumble.
Yeah.
They need to do things differently.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a new year, things could change, but I don't expect it to.
If you ask me, I think they need to rebrand Raw.
How so? How do you think what is your
Make it look fresh. Change everything. Change the ring entrance. Change the colors. Change everything. They got to get that Raw. After a year that they had this year, they need to get that Raw stink off of them, for sure.
Pun intended.
They also need to do away with the brand split.
Yeah. That's crazy that's... I mean, we're talking about how old this is 21 years ago. I mean, brand split was 2002, only 19 years ago, and they're still going strong with it. And they try to brand it new every year. We're going to have a draft. We're going to have something different, and it's the same thing every 2 weeks. It's cold in my room, man, so I got my Broncos beanie on. Gotta celebrate the bad luck.
What a great heel Stephanie was.
God, she was so good. She's such a good character. I really enjoyed her. I think when she kind of like split on her own and was the SmackDown GM like 02, 03, I didn't really enjoy that much. But yeah, man, 99, 2000 Stephanie is incredible.
This is not going to be a match for the weak at heart. A street fight, no holds barred. That's a wise decision. Certainly is.
Maybe she comes out later.
A street fight at Triple H. Triple H knows exactly the environment that he will attempt to retain his WWE.
Folks, we are in for a doozy.
Honestly, I think this is a top 10 match in WWE history. I really think that this is a match that defined the growth of WWE in the 2000s. Just so happens that it's the first pay-per-view of the new millennium too.
There he is. He said he was going to take it up a notch, take it up a level here at the Royal Rumble. Now I think he's going to have to do that.
The road to WrestleMania 16. One of Mick Foley's last 3 matches.
Mick Foley, who's from nearby Long Island, who 16 years ago hitchhiked to this very arena to see the WWE.
Well, if you don't count his TNA run, or his late 2000 WWE run.
Oh, God.
Triple H trying to psych out the game.
I definitely don't count his TNA run.
Oh, you shouldn't, because it was brutal.
Here we go. I don't know what Cactus Jack had to say to the champion, but the talking has stopped. The action has begun. And the
There we go. They are going in.
is underway. This one could end up being anywhere in this arena, no holds barred. Anything is legal. There must be a winner in this matchup. Triple H. We're trying to stand toe-to-toe, it looks like, in the early going here with Mankind. Good strategy or not, we'll find out as this match progresses. And look at
I mean, Foley's just so good. I mean, I'm so glad that he got that. The moment that's kind of defined is changing the war, is the Monday Night Wars, is him winning the title. And I mean, he deserved it so much, and it's just so good to see him, you know, have a run of matches that he had, you know, with these two right here.
JR with the commentary bots calling Cactus Jack Mankind.
It's better than calling him Dude Love.
Fans are behind Cactus Jack.
Cactus Jack is one of the most unusual, unorthodox, unpredictable competitors that you will ever see.
Well, you know what, Jared? Why don't you just say what he really is? You mean sadistic, so why don't you just say it?
Oh, yeah, look out, he is sadistic. Look out here.
Thank goodness.
Mankind, excuse me, Cactus Jack is dancing the champion's head off the steel steps. Better eye here. I can guarantee you that we ain't got much room here. He just grabbed the bell. He's got the ring bell.
Oh, that's a prop you don't see used anymore, or a weapon, I guess. It's a ring bell.
The champ challenger may be dead. And Triple H tossing the steel chair in the ring.
This is about to escalate very soon.
Did that to accomplish the demise of Cactus Jack.
Oh, look at this. Triple H and
We're going to switch hats because we got into the main event now. We're going to put on the Tampa Bay Rays hat.
I'll never forget last year at the Royal Rumble.
It's like waving a red flag in front of the bull. You know he's going to come, Triple H.
And a dozen chair shots Mankind didn't do it last year at this very event. And most of us are not going to forget.
Oh!
A shot right to the skull. A shot right to the skull by the game. And just look at the challenger. Cactus Jack.
I mean, we hear it here on the broadcast. What's it like hearing a chair shot like that in Madison Square Garden? I mean, that is a brutal shot.
It was loud. Chair shots, good chair shots are always loud.
They must be wondering what am I going to have to do here tonight to keep the challenger down long enough for a 3 count, and now Cactus Jack has got a steel chair. That's right. A drone Triple H on the canvas.
Oh.
To the steel chair, driving it right into the face of the champion. The challenger's got the cover. And a near fall.
Cactus Jack was moving around pretty decent here.
Yeah.
Not really too sure why he retired.
I mean, I assume it has to be the wear and tear on his body, and you think he would have stayed retired,
He was
but
probably feeling it.
he comes back in, I want to say his first match after 2000 was WrestleMania 20 at 04.
Yeah, he came back with the Rock. Yeah, against Evolution. Yeah, that match, that sole purpose of that match was to give Evolution a rub. And then Foley had a match with, I think Foley had a match with Orton later on.
Yeah, Backlash. A month or two later, yeah.
Yeah.
Hardcore match. That's a hell of a match.
So unfair. He's a Cactus Jack fan.
A lot of crowd fighting in this pay-per-view. You don't see that a lot either.
No. Oh, they're going in. Well, you could tell the key demo is clearly 18 to 49 here.
Got Chef Boyardee. 2 Chef Boyardees right there.
People, it's a street fight. They can go anywhere. Look at this. They're back against those brick walls covered with graffiti. They're in the alley.
This is all legal, right in those stack of bricks there.
Maybe it's me, man, but there's just something about using the set and the the ramp that I really enjoy about the old pay-per-views, and you really just don't see it anymore.
WWE hasn't done a lot of things great lately.
Do you think they'll ever go back to the?
And I think storytelling will be I think storytelling on the main roster has been a lost art, unlike NXT, because you got the right people running NXT.
Do we see this different entrance way, just the way the stage is designed. Do you think they'll ever get back to doing different stage designs for each pay-per-view, or do you think they're going to continue with just kind of bland one that they keep for every show?
I think they should go to stage designs again.
Oh,
I miss
sure.
that. I miss that.
Anybody else? I agree he's a great champion, but this just may not be his night. Speaking of Triple H, may not be his night.
Because now it's just lazy.
Yeah. I feel like in a weird way, you are almost, as a fan, we're always looking forward to seeing what the stage looked like.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things I always used to look forward to when I first walked into an arena, was looking towards the stage and the ring and observing the set, for sure.
Yeah. Now it's just, it's different with, they do change it up for every WrestleMania, but man, I just remember watching as a kid, and it was every single show. It's different, and it just made it. It just made it cooler. Maybe it's just me, but it just made it. It gave it a different feel.
Even WrestleMania 35, they got a little bit lazy with the stage.
Yeah. Yeah, they just had the giant screen. Ah, look at that cut. As much as people shit on Triple H, the dude did not quit in the ring. I mean, he's wrestled through. That's a pretty nasty spot right there. And I mean, he's torn his quad in the ring and taken a Walls of Jericho after, finished the match. I know he separated his shoulder in that DX versus Brothers Destruction match in Saudi and kept going. I mean, people can give him a lot of crap, but you can't deny the fact that he's a tough son of a bitch.
No, Triple H was good. It was just for a long time, like, he was putting himself over a lot.
Oh yeah, the Reign of Terror.
He was always putting himself over to, win matches and stuff.
Really only
that eventually stopped.
Yeah,
as WrestleMania 20 started rolling around. Maybe even after that, actually.
Well, I mean, he gave is the wrong word, but I mean, he took the submission in that WrestleMania 20 main event.
Yeah. 21, you see him as the champion. 22, he walked in as champion. No, did he?
No, he fought Cena at 22, and Cena walked in as champ.
Okay, yeah, Cena walked in and walked out as champion.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a match in 23.
I don't believe he did either.
No. But again, 24, 25, 26 against Sheamus, and 27, 28 against Undertaker. This is where it's going to start getting a little ugly.
I mean, look at that. Look at that spot in Triple H's leg. I mean, that is. I know it kind of debilitates him here later in the match, but I mean, you can really see him favoring it. I'm sure that does not feel good.
causing Cactus to get up. No, no, no. Cactus jumped with a right hand. Uh-oh. Now Cactus.
Oh, him and Stephanie were fortunate to have kids after that.
Yeah. Double arm DDT. One of my favorite moves.
Referee preoccupied on the outside. You could have given Mick Foley the win here or at Hell in a Cell. I think it was Hell in a Cell or
No Way Out.
No Way Out. You
Yeah,
could
it
have
wasn't
given Foley the belt and then have him lose it at Mania.
Yeah,
For
especially
one last run.
in that what was it, fatal 4-way like elimination match. I mean, to make Big Show take the pin.
I'm not too sure that they knew that they were headed there to a fatal a 4-way.
Down goes Earl.
Uh-oh. I think Triple H is bleeding here.
Sure will be after that. Man, I gotta ask you. I know this is completely random, but I've been thinking about it. I know this is going to air after, and so our predictions don't really, we'll see what happens later. But tonight, you got a big fight in the UFC. Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. Who do you think takes it? Do you think McGregor continues it?
Absolutely, McGregor comes out with the win tonight.
Saying knockout or decision?
I said knockout.
Knockout, okay. I'm a big McGregor fan, so I'll definitely be checking the fight out. Oh man.
Oh. By the time UFC starts, I should be just about starting to work my way home from the city.
Yeah, I think it starts at like 10.
I might, yeah. So the main event be like 12:15. Yeah. So I might stop at my buddy's house and catch the main event on the way home. I'll have to see.
Should be good.
I typically don't miss Conor McGregor matches, so
he's hard. He's hard to miss, man. I mean, it's whether you like him or don't.
Yeah,
he's just such a
must see.
Yeah, he's just such a fun watch.
Triple H, a Crimson Mask, man.
Yeah, normally you'd expect Mick Foley to be the roles to be reversed in this situation.
And this match is going to get uglier too in just a few moments.
Yeah, I think this. Man, I want to say this match still probably has like 15 minutes to go.
Oh, yeah. Get those monitors out of there. Get that monitor out of there. Oh.
I mean, look at the blood all over the table. Triple H is...
Look at that visual. You know, in Triple H's mind, he's thinking that they're making magic right now.
Oh, for sure. I think he knows that he's being made in this match.
Look how close Foley comes to hitting that monitor. It's the one thing that always scares me is the bat chops and the monitors. What's that Usher doing telling everybody to sit down? Come on.
Come on, man. It's the Royal Rumble. That's crazy to think, man. This is normally, you take this as your main event any day of the week, but I mean, we still got the Royal Rumble, and it's a good Royal Rumble too.
Oh, look at the leg of Triple H. He's going to feel that in the morning. You don't see that move too often.
Great, yeah, exactly. Great sell by Triple H. I don't know. I always love that. I don't want to call it, like overacting, but just the people who like fly into that in the turnbuckle on those kind of moves. I always enjoyed it so much more than somebody who just took it normally.
The screens, our monitors are covered in blood. It's just dripping down.
The monitors, our table, everything covered.
Still have a couple good spots left coming at you.
So, I mean, I got to get your opinion. You lived through it. You got to see it all. This is kind of the start of what many people agree to be the best year in professional wrestling for WWE. I mean, would you agree? Is 2000 the best year? I mean, obviously WrestleMania wasn't the best, but I mean, overall, I mean, you have just incredible pay-per-view after incredible pay-per-view, and I mean, this is definitely the start of the year. But yeah, what's your opinion? What's the best year in wrestling?
Oh,
WWE, I guess.
That is a tough one.
Or would you at least agree with this consensus?
I would
say this is the best year.
98 was a great year. Halfway through 97, 98 was a great year. 2000 was a great year. It progressively got better as the year went on. I think the bridge between halfway through 2000 into 2001 was the best time in wrestling for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because I've had the chance.
98 was great.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the chance to kind of relive it, 2001 with the network. But I remember, one of the ones that I know a lot of people talk about is like 2007, 2008. I mean, it's kind of the end of the PG, TV 14 era, and they went into the PG era, and they really went out with their pay-per-views. I mean, they had some fantastic matches. I mean, WrestleMania 24 is one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time, and you don't really see as good of weekly television as they've had, in 98 and 2000 and 08 and 2002 even. The last really good year I can think of was maybe 2016 SmackDown.
Yeah, that was a pretty good year.
I mean, the roster back then was just stacked. I mean,
you only
I remember
Ziggler
was getting a huge push in 2016.
Yeah. Once a week, you had a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
SmackDown was an easier show to take in for sure.
Exactly. I mean, I've said it on the show many times, but the reason so many people have a problem with Raw, and I mean, Raw back here is 2 hours, and even a few years before it's just 1 hour. But I mean, you're writing and you're trying to digest as a fan a Lord of the Rings movie every week, every Monday of wrestling, and it's tough, man. It's tough to fill out a story. It's tough to sit through it all. I mean,
well, here's the problem with the 3 hours. I mean, you're risking overexposure, and the storyline's not even good on top of it.
Which is funny that you say you risk overexposure, but yet we see the same people. I mean, I mentioned his name earlier, and I know they're in talk. The rumors are that he's in talks for a big push, but where the hell's Aleister Black? I mean, if he doesn't show up at Sunday at the Royal Rumble, I'm probably going to be pretty mad.
I believe he'll beat the Rumble.
You think you'll get that big push that they're rumoring?
I haven't read the dirt sheets lately. I think he deserves a shot for sure.
He definitely does. Oh.
It's time to stop. It's time to stop. It's time to stop relying on the old stars.
Yeah,
plain simple.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you talked about overexposure. It's just the lack of talent on the roster that doesn't get exposed enough.
For the champion wanted to challenge her all along. Remember the street fight.
You got bad booking, and it's 3 hours on top of it.
It's almost
Raw's a tough show to take in.
But Triple H now bringing.
I mean, even I don't know if you caught SmackDown last night, but
I did not.
it was
This Jack is helpless, no matter what.
it was something. They had that obstacle course, Bailey and Bianca Belair, and it was
Oh yeah, I gotta watch that.
Handcuffed behind it. But I can't believe that. No.
ah.
Was it just me? Did Bianca Belair carry Otis over her shoulder?
She did.
Somebody posted a picture on Facebook. I'm like, oh wow, this is crazy.
He just straight fireman carried his ass. It was impressive, honestly. Another impressive move. I mean, to get back into this match. I mean, Cactus Jack's handcuffed. And he just drops his head in Triple H's groin. I mean, he's putting on a compelling match. He's been handcuffed for the last 3 minutes.
I think you're right. I think Cactus has gone for Triple H is here. And Triple H right back up, knocks Cactus down to the clothesline.
Keep it down, game. Keep him on the ground.
Cactus lost half his ear many years ago in combat.
Oh, there it is. Look at that deformed, mutilated ear.
Half of it gone.
He was trying to do the same thing to Kane. Pounding like a railroad spider. Yes. Oh.
Oh,
Hammering.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
Triple H has just destroyed a steel chair on the spine of Cactus Jack.
This is the point of the match where WWE is trying to build sympathy for Mick Foley to make the comeback.
I gotta ask your opinion, man. Again, you're in the crowd. You're here again. This is kind of the match that gave Triple H that major push to the character that we know him today. I know a lot of people have problems with just how slow and methodical Triple H's matches can seem to be sometimes. I mean, what's the reaction in the crowd right now? I mean, this is a brutal match, and the Royal Rumble. I mean, the marquee event, it still hasn't even happened yet. We still got that match coming up. I mean, what is the reaction in the crowd going on? Triple H and Cactus Jack are just beating the shit out of each other.
I mean, I think at this point, like, you're kind of waiting for like the next spot in between.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Here it is.
I forgot The Rock made an appearance in this one. I totally forgot that The Rock made an appearance in this match.
I knew somebody got involved. I knew somebody came out through that. But
look at this. So mysteriously, somebody has the keys to the car.
Exactly. It's just a New York State Police. It's got the key.
There were some points of this match where it was kind of dragging a little bit, and you're kind of just waiting for like the next spot, and when the next spot finally happens, like everything was really good.
Is it more just hey, this is a great match, but we want the Rumble kind of thing?
Oh yeah,
is it...
I think so.
Yeah, I think
but this is the point where I think they're just starting to, finally kind of like wrap it up.
Yeah. And I think that, this is. Oh, that's a move you won't see anymore either. Here's a pretty good spot at the end with the announce table at the end of SmackDown last night. You'll have to check out, but yeah, man, you'll never see it. Really, you won't even see a pile driver anymore. But you definitely won't see a pile driver on top of an announce table.
Yeah.
Take a look at this. With a Cactus on the left, the replay. So that's all you got. And then here came The Rock.
for the setup. Plain and simple. You got a cop waiting out there with him.
And here we go. We're getting to nitty gritty now.
Sandbag. Hit him over here with a sandbag. They got away. It's going to be bad.
This is about to escalate rather quickly here.
Oh God! Oh my God! It's thumbtacks! It's hundreds! It's thousands of thumbtacks! Oh no! Cactus Jack could just put a hit stick of thumbtacks! Oh, get over there! Oh, look at this! Oh, look who's here! Look who's here!
Which would you rather do? You going through thumbtacks or getting hit with barbed wire?
Oh, I'd rather go through thumbtacks.
Really? I think I'd rather just get hit with the barbed wire because it's kind of like an instant
Yeah.
pain, you know? You got to rip those thumbtacks out after the match.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh.
Oh, through the tacks, man. Great commentary line right there. Cactus Jack is a human pin cushion.
Oh my God! He's sick, JR. He may enjoy it. I don't know. For the love of God! Triple H, turn it. The pedigree! That's got to be over. Nobody gets up for the pedigree.
That definitely earned a pop from the crowd.
This was the crowd was hot and back into it at this point.
I've always loved the interaction between Triple H and Earl Hebner. This is gonna be painful. It's brutal to watch, man.
Wow, I thought there was gonna be fire on the barbed wire, but I think that's for next month.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, just look, he's got the pincushion sticking out of his face.
And Triple H taking that pedigree with his knees landing on the thumbtacks.
I wonder if he got one in that cut that he had in his leg. I mean, even Hebner, Hebner's counting the pinfall. I'm sure he probably got a few in his hands.
Yeah, Hebner has a couple.
Oh my God! I mean, just look at they're all in his knee pads. They're under his boots.
Oh, his forehead.
The thumbtacks have been driven right into the skull and Cactus Jack sticking out of his eyes, his arms, his entire body. Oh God! Oh, this is bad.
That's a good shot right there. Second time we've seen a stretcher at this pay-per-view.
He's a champion. Well, I could not believe just moments ago. Take him to the best hospital in New York.
What a brutal match.
Cactus Jack took down the pedigree. And Triple H, no one can believe it. And then the second pedigree came on the thumbtacks. Cactus Jack driven face first into hundreds of thumbtacks. Oh, look at this. Triple H been carried out with the Madison Square Garden. The money still the World Wrestling Federation champion. With all the attacks in his deep and he's lost so much blood. This is very bad.
Oh, hey man, I'm looking up the Wikipedia for this pay-per-view. It says Jack's still going. I mean, that's
He's trying to get his hands back on Helmsley.
Raw Monday night. Oh wow, look at this. This is the end here.
Oh my God! Cactus Jack is not through with Triple H. He's bringing it back out here.
oh.
Get those handcuffs back out. Cuff him. Lock him up. Where's that policeman when you need him?
Got to sell it for tomorrow night's Monday Night Raw.
Hold on.
You gotta tell the story.
He's got the barbed wire again. Cactus has got the barbed wire again. No. And right in Helmsley's face. Cactus Jack with a barbed wire. Stephanie, save yourself.
Slaughter.
Sergeant S. Laughter, as my dad likes to call him.
Slaughter with that mustache. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you gotta build intrigue for the for tomorrow night's Raw. Give Mick Foley the rub and going into the next episode of Raw. Yeah, man, I'm looking up the Wikipedia page. It says that this event is voted as one of the top 15 pay-per-view events of all time. Would you agree? I mean, you were there.
Top 15.
Yeah, top. It says this event has been named as one of the top 15 WWE events of all time by the WWE.
I don't know about top 15. Top 25, maybe. Top 50, definitely, probably. Top 15. I think I can name a bunch of wrestling events.
Well, now I'm curious as to what WWE's top 15 pay-per-views are.
I mean, it's a top 5 Royal Rumble.
Oh, for sure.
Like, as a whole pay-per-view, for sure. That's tough. Because there's so many great events out there.
As we said earlier, ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Coachman has been positioned at WWF New York. It's a great place to visit. It's a great place to party. And Jonathan, we have had one hell of one out here already here at Madison Square Garden.
SummerSlam 2002 is on that list. It's definitely got to be one of a top.
That was actually, I'm reading the list right now. That was a honorable mention.
An honorable mention?
Yeah. Do you want to know what number Royal Rumble 2000 was? Of all time, number 3. This is a WWE article.
No, definitely not.
Number 3.
That's definitely not a top 3 event.
Let's see, when was this published?
You can rest assured that things in the World Wrestling Federation.
SummerSlam 2002, WrestleMania 17.
Oh, I'm sure WrestleMania 17.
King of the Ring 96.
The top 5 is
Survivor Series 2002 with the Elimination Chamber. That was a great show.
they have. Do you really? This is what makes this list already invalid to me. They have. That's an honorable mention with SummerSlam 2002. Invasion.
Yeah.
The top 5 is WrestleMania 3, Spring Stampede 94, Rumble 2000, Money in the Bank 11, and WrestleMania 17.
Yeah, WrestleMania 17 should be up there. SummerSlam 02 should be there. What was the other one?
WrestleMania 3 and Spring Stampede 94.
WrestleMania 3 should be somewhere maybe in the top 10 or 20.
No Way Out 01 makes an appearance.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the Royal Rumble.
See, Backlash 2009. I don't remember anything about that pay-per-view, honestly.
That may have been Punk versus Jericho, but I don't remember for sure.
It was Jericho versus Ricky Steamboat.
Okay.
In the Royal Rumble, it is every man for themselves.
Oh, check that pay-per-view out.
I couldn't even tell you what's on Spring Stampede 94.
Let's find out.
And both feet must touch.
Flair versus Steamboat.
Okay.
And the bunkhouse match between Dustin Rhodes and Bunkhouse Buck.
This is right before Hogan got to WCW.
Yes.
That is showing the Royal Rumble 95 moments with British Bulldog. We think British Bulldog wins. And then Michaels comes back in the ring. Great moment for Michaels.
Best wrestler of all time. Who do you think it is? Is it Michaels? I know a lot of people say it is. The best, not overall, just in ring. Who's the best in ring wrestler that you've seen in your career or in your lifetime?
Oh, I would have to go Michaels or Bret Hart.
I feel like those are very popular favorites.
Yeah.
I always loved Macho Man. As a kid, I mean, he was there's just something about him, man. I mean, the pageantry, and he could go in the ring. I mean, I remember one of the first matches I ever saw was, as growing up, was was Macho Man versus Steamboat at WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
D'Lo
Great
Brown-
match. In that era, that was one of the greatest matches of all time.
Yeah.
But I've seen two wrestlers put together better matches than that nowadays. For sure. But so that match was ahead of its time.
That's crazy. Jerry Lawler gets to see his wife at the time and his son on the same show.
Grandmaster Sexay and D'Lo Brown opened up the Royal Rumbles #1 and #2.
D'Lo, very underrated. I always
Rest
enjoyed.
in peace, Grandmaster Sexay. D'Lo's old now.
Did you ever see Grandmaster Sex and Brian Christopher? I guess just running TNA.
No.
They brought him in at the beginning, and I mean, he was built up like Hogan. He was going up against Jeff Jarrett, and he was a main event player.
Wow.
No disrespect to Grandmaster Sexay. Too Cool was great, and him and Scotty 2 Hotty were obviously fantastic in the ring, but I don't think anybody really thought of Brian Christopher as a main event.
No.
Come on, Grandmaster. I got faith in you.
D'Lo.
Oh, no.
Oh, D'Lo.
Oh, look at this.
D'Lo with the power bomb was countered in the Hurricane Rana by Grandmaster Sexay.
D'Lo Brown, a great run with Nation Domination.
Still can't get a JR every time.
What an underrated faction. I mean, they definitely lost their steam. Excuse me, when
That was shocking, but what we just witnessed,
when The Rock moved on and
the rest of my career, I was
started his fantastic career. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Nation Domination. I don't know how much I enjoyed the at the time they're doing the faction wars with Los Baricuas
97, 98, yeah.
DOA.
Nation, DX,
Yeah.
Los Baricuas.
What is he wearing?
Grandmaster Sexay King.
Is that like a tribute to Mae Young?
I don't know.
Oh, look!
Kaintai.
Kaintai Funaki.
Yeah, they weren't in the Rumble.
Kaintai originally was going to be in the Rumble, but they're not in this Rumble, I'll assure you folks.
Oh!
And,
But he wishes he really wasn't now.
and Kaintai, being somewhat physically censored by the competitors in the ring.
Oh, man. Yeah. What kind of wrestling attire is this that Mosh has got on?
That's somewhat unorthodox. They're
WWE's way of just like throwing him on the show.
Yeah, exactly. We'll use you next week.
You're hanging down there like Mae Young. Look at this.
man, what a power bomb by D'Lo Brown.
Uh-oh. I think it knocked him right out of his,
D'Lo Brown's career went downhill after his accidental injury to Draws at
Draws, yeah.
SmackDown tape in the Nassau Coliseum.
Have you seen that Dark Side of the Ring show?
I have. Was Draws on there?
Yeah, they did a Brawl for All episode, and they show him, and
He looked fat, right?
well, he's in a wheelchair. He's like paralyzed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a good show. I highly recommend any of our fans who haven't seen that to check it out. I know they're doing a third season here at some point this year. You see Christian coming in at number 4.
No one has been eliminated yet.
Another great underrated wrestler. I mean,
Absolutely. I'm glad he got the run he did in 2011
exactly.
on SmackDown.
Yeah. I wish he would have held the title. I think he should have.
He did. Well, he held the world title.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I wish he would have held. I know he won it at Extreme Rules, and then he lost it like 5 days later on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I wish he would have had a longer run. I think the story with Randy Orton was great, but I just wish that after winning that first title, you know, he got a better run than the 5 days that he had, I guess.
Yeah, he deserved a little better there.
Here goes D'Lo. D'Lo Brown, hold on the bottom rope. Look at D'Lo's hands.
It's 2011, I believe.
Yeah, that's a very underrated year. I mean, obviously, you know, the Punk situation, but SummerSlam 2011 is a fantastic pay-per-view. Features a Christian Randy Orton match.
2015 was another great year with Seth Rollins. He was having great matches with Cena.
I think that's something I'm going to miss this year from the Rumble is the fans counting down. I know it's, you know, the beeping noise and everything.
Oh, it's so annoying. Rikishi.
Rikishi.
Roman Reigns' uncle.
As, you know, again, as
Uso's father.
As a fan during these days, I mean, you got to experience this all. Did the fans ever, as we see Mosh go out, Rikishi throws him out. I mean, did you guys ever see Rikishi as a main event player? I mean, he was in the main event. He was in the story with Stone Cold. He was in the Armageddon. He throws out Christian. And he was in that Armageddon Hell in a Cell match. Rikishi was a big time player, but was he ever a kind of guy that the fans could buy as world champion?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Because when you have Rikishi being booked like this, that he was so over, I mean, he was definitely, he could have been a viable option for sure.
Why do you think they never pulled the trigger? I mean, again, they put him in a lot of big programs, especially around this time, you know, 2000, 2001.
Just because you had Triple H and Austin and The Rock there, man. And then not too far after, you had Hogan coming in. You had Lesnar coming in a year later. It was just the roster was so stacked. You had Taker.
This is a great WrestleMania.
You probably could have thrown a belt on him in between WrestleManias.
Great Royal Rumble moment right here. One of my favorites. Scotty, I mean, we saw Rikishi basically clean house, and now we see Scotty 2 Hotty come out, and Too Cool's all in the ring. Scotty's trying to get the crowd going, get the dance. There's the glasses.
Look how into the fans are into it.
Were you doing it? Were you a part of the
I
clapping?
probably was clapping. I was probably dancing too. I don't know.
I love Rikishi. And there it goes. Too cool.
Remember, it's every man for yourself here. Wait a minute. And Rikishi gets eliminated. Too cool. Simultaneously.
I love how he does it with the glasses on, too. He eliminates them both with the glasses on.
It's almost like he broke kayfabe.
Exactly.
Of his gimmick with the glasses.
I think this is a little bit of storytelling that I think WWE I don't know if overreacts is the right word, but you know, you see a tag team, you know, one guy eliminates his partner in the Rumble, and it's like their tag team's broken up. You know, they're done for, they gotta have a feud. And it's like this, you know, Too Cool does the, you know, I don't know if it was the Too Sweet or they do a hand gesture to each other, and you know, it's known, hey, we're just trying to win the title, and they're fine after this. I think WWE just overlooks that fact so much now. Now this was one of my favorites as a kid, Steve Blackman.
When Steve Blackman was teamed with Al Snow,
Head cheese.
Head cheese, and they did all these like little gimmicks and stuff. Especially with WrestleMania 16, when they had the midget out, Chester McCheesin. That was some good stuff between the two of them.
Yeah, I always enjoyed Steve Blackman. I don't know. I used to have the old SmackDown games that used to just be fun to play as.
And out he goes.
But I mean, he's again another guy who's really good in the ring, underused. But I mean, he's involved in a huge moment. I mean, he's SummerSlam 2000 with the kendo stick on Shane. Shane falls off the scaffolding there. That's a good attitude era sign right there, doggy style, hanging out from the.
That was high up there too, by the way.
Yeah, 2000s wrestling right here.
Unceremoniously throwing who's next? I think that's the question now. Rikishi is ready for anyone. It's a good strategy to eliminate.
Let's see who's next.
Rikishi kind of having a 2020 Lesnar role right here. Oh boy.
Viscera. Big Vis. Big Daddy V.
Oh, Big Daddy, don't remind me.
Formerly known as Mabel.
I remember when he was Big Daddy V when I was a kid.
This is going to be a tour. Viscera is almost about 6'10", close to 500 pounds, and Rikishi not backing up an inch here. But neither is Viscera. What a belly-to-belly suplex that was. This whole arena, the Madison Square Garden shook. Oh, look out!
They didn't. They didn't do anything with this guy, Mabel.
Yeah, I mean, how crazy is it to say that some King of the Ring winners are Billy Gunn, Brock Lesnar, and King Mabel?
Yeah, Mabel winning the '95 King of the Ring, earning the right to fight Big Daddy Cool Diesel at SummerSlam.
King Mabel. I remember
King
that.
Mabel. I met King Mabel that year, July.
Really?
Very nice guy. I wish I was big into picture taking at that time because I would have had pictures for sure.
I definitely think he was just put in, the ministry to be just that big guy that, could kind of rival Taker.
Yeah.
Which is no problem. I mean, there's people in ministry that really didn't have a role.
Wow. That's a good elimination right there, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is 2020 Lesnar right here. Who do you think is who gets the eliminations? Most eliminations this year.
In 2000, who got it the most?
2021 this year. I love Big Boss Man, by the way.
Keith
One
Lee.
of my favorites. Keith Lee. You think Keith Lee gets a good rub?
Yeah.
Do you think we see what do you think is more likely? Do you think we see Lesnar in the Rumble, or do you think we see him interfere in the McIntyre Goldberg match?
Whew, that's a tough one.
Because I could see them do McIntyre, especially with fans this year. I mean, McIntyre and Lesnar is a match that you could do.
I'd rather see Lesnar come in and interfere.
In that match?
Yeah, run interference.
What do you think? You don't think they actually would do Goldberg and Lesnar again, do you? Do you think he interferes for McIntyre, like sets up a match with him, or do you think they really do Goldberg and Lesnar again? I mean, is there a match that you can do with Goldberg? I mean, obviously Goldberg's going to be at WrestleMania. I mean, is there? If he doesn't,
I think they want to get to Goldberg and Reigns.
So you think Goldberg comes in and loses and comes in the Rumble? Or how do you think they set that up?
Well, I mean, you can't forget that you also have the the pay-per-view No Way Out in between.
Is it still No Way Out, or is it?
There should be a pay-per-view in between.
They have Chamber. I think they have Chamber and.
I'm sorry, Elimination Chamber.
Is it
or Fastlane? Yeah. So you still have those 2 pay-per-views to build up another number 1 contender for whichever brand doesn't win the Rumble. So it's kind of hard to call.
So we got the Rumble next week, next Sunday. We have TakeOver 31 on the 14th. Chamber the following weekend. Fastlane March 21st, and then Mania the 10th and 11th.
So yeah, there's a lot of. I think Chamber is going to be like the number 1 contender match for Raw or SmackDown brand.
Yeah. Do you think we see?
I'm not sure what they do. I'm really not sure what they do.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. I mean, is this the year where they kind of fill out the WrestleMania card with NXT guys?
Yeah, I think this is a year you can do that for sure.
Because it doesn't so far it doesn't seem like we're gonna have. I mean, they haven't announced one yet, but it doesn't seem like we're gonna have a WrestleMania weekend takeover. The only takeover scheduled is the one in 3 weeks. You know, in the 14th. Or is that really on Valentine's Day? It is on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Look at that, the British Bulldog.
Oh God, old
Bulldog. His run in '99.
I'm still convinced that there's an untold story between Drew and Sheamus. They've been planting seeds for that for a long time now. With Sheamus and Keith Lee.
Yeah. I think maybe this is just me forward thinking, you know, but I really don't see a way, especially with what happened on Raw. I don't know if you call it Raw this week, but I really just don't see a way that, especially since they gave him the Money in the Bank back, that The Miz isn't in. As much as I don't really want to see it, The Miz isn't in the main event, you know, championship match, whatever the last match is. I just think the fact that they gave him the contract back just signals that it's going to be a triple threat or a fatal 4-way or something. I don't think it'll be a straight up 1-on-1, you know, McIntyre versus Miz, but I think Miz will be the guy in a triple threat who takes the pinfall at WrestleMania.
That's very possible. I just don't know if you have Miz in that spot right now.
Yeah, I agree. I don't.
Not with Morrison there.
Yeah, I don't want him, but I just feel like what's the point of giving him? You know, he lost the contract, and then they just said, "Oh, Morrison cashed in for me," you know, and they gave it back to him. I just don't really see the point of them doing that if they didn't have plans for him to be in, you know, whether it's the main event or not, that championship match.
You realize 3 out of the 5 guys in the ring right now are all dead?
That's crazy.
Test,
Bossman, and Bulldog.
Yeah.
I love Bossman, man. He's one of my favorites.
I think you should have Miz try to cash in on at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I feel like he will. I'm sure he'll.
Yeah, I don't think you have Miz right now main eventing because they were WWE so up and down with him. And
I mean, what's the reaction you think if he actually walks away? You know, steals the title next Sunday. You know, are fans like, oh, it's something different? You know, he hasn't had the title.
No, it's just I don't think I'll be particularly happy, to be honest.
I'll be indecisive depending on who wins the Rumble later on in the night. I'm hoping the Royal Rumble it should be the last match.
Miz and Morrison need to get off my TV. They need to go.
It's bad because did you watch Raw?
Yeah.
Oh, that was one of the worst.
I don't even watch Raw anymore. I just fast forward through it just to get to the key points so I know what's going on and what I'm talking about on the show.
You at least saw that segment though, right?
I did. And when I saw Gilbert and Drew come out, I'm like, enough of this.
It was awful. It was so bad. it stinks because I don't have a problem with The Miz. I think The Miz is a really good wrestler in the ring. And Morrison's obviously, you know, his time as Johnny Impact and Johnny Mundo and Luke.
Look at Green Edge.
I know. Look at Green Edge and Christian earlier in the match. Yeah, Morrison is a fantastic talent in the ring, but his promo skills are awful. I mean, the dude can't talk his way out of a paper bag.
Who was this?
Morrison.
Oh, Morrison's bad. He's bad. He needs to get off my TV now.
And that's the thing that I think has ruined his career is because, again, he's a fantastic wrestler. I mean, he's great in Lucha, great in Impact Wrestling, but he cannot talk. And putting him with The Miz, who I think can talk, I mean, a little bit. I think The Miz isn't, you know, the best promo, but The Miz is okay on the mic. And they, you know, alternate lines. It's just it's brutal. The flow is so broken, and man, the dirt sheet was some 2007 shit. Like, why is it still going on in 2021?
They need to make their characters a little more serious. Very, very hokey right now.
Do you think Morrison turns on him, or do you think Morrison gets in the Rumble or something?
No.
I've heard talks.
No, WWE is going to probably keep them together.
Yeah.
Because that's what WWE does.
Yeah, I've just heard talks of Morrison getting a bigger shot. You know, I'd love to see him give him a secondary title, break him up with Miz and give him an IC title or US title. You know, I'd like to see that, but God, they're just so bad. They're
Bob Backlund?
Bob Backlund.
Yeah, Bob Backlund.
Yeah, man, that segment on Monday I think was one of the worst things I've seen in a long time on WWE television. It reminds me of the it was almost as bad as the Bobby Lashley like sisters segment from a few years ago.
Yeah. Bob Backlund, he had a nice little run in '94. Great matches with Bret Hart. Wow, Keisha's gone.
That's a big elimination right there.
Great matches with Bret Hart in '94. Particularly, my favorite is it was a summer Saturday WWE Superstars Bret Hart versus Bob Backlund for the title. Great match.
It seemed like they kind of like pushed him or gave him that.
Yeah, he was at the top of the hill for a little while.
Yeah,
for a few months.
Like they did that, and then what? Didn't he lose? He won the title.
Yeah, and then he lost it 3 days later.
In like 5 seconds to Diesel in a house show.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I know. Again, we shit on.
And you know how I found out about it? I found out about it on Raw.
See, that's the thing. We shit on WWE a lot on this show, but their creative ideas haven't been the best for their entire time, really. Even in '94, they were making bad decisions.
There was no internet in '94, so you kind of found out on the next TV show that Bob Backlund had lost the title to Diesel.
Here's Jericho coming back out after his Intercontinental title win. Yeah, I wanted to ask you that. What is, you've kind of experienced it all. You've experienced all 3 generations. I mean, what do you think is? You have 2 hours of SmackDown, 2 hours of NXT, 2 hours of AEW. In your mind as a fan, since it's Monday night, it's the flagship show of wrestling. What is the desired length of Raw that you think that they should go to? Is it an hour like they did in the early 90s? Is it 2 hours like Raw's War, 2000s? Or is it 3 hours? I mean, some people do defend 3 hours.
I think you should do 3 hours for special go-home shows, special themed shows and stuff. But that's about it. You need to get back to 2 hours.
2 hours?
You need to get back to 2 hours. They either need to get back to 2 hours or utilize one of the hours or, Raw talk or something.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna kind of maybe throw in a retro match, or maybe throw in Raw, maybe throw in some Raw talk.
Yeah.
Like in between segments, in between hours.
See, that's what I've heard. One of the ideas that a lot of people have thrown around is because obviously, you know, the sponsors pay for 3 hours. USA Network has a 3-hour time slot for a reason. You can't just be like, okay, we're going to drop the third hour and we're going to move to 2 hours. You know, it's not the change you can make. You know, in 2 days, Monday night will be 2 hours starting 2 days from now. But one of the ideas that people threw around is do a 2-hour Raw, and then the third hour be dedicated to just classic matches. I mean, you have the WWE Network. You get people to want to subscribe to the network to see, maybe the continuation of the feud of the match they showed, or, if you're going on the Royal Rumble, like they do a classic Rumble and they fit it into the time frame or something like that. I think that's a good idea because you can keep that third hour, but you also
do a 2-hour show from 8 to 10 with a little run over if need be, and then do like a 45-minute documentary.
Yeah.
WWE documentary for like the last hour. This way you're utilizing, the 3 hours. But now there's been they're bringing hockey on the USA Network.
Yes,
which could interfere with Wednesdays and some other nights.
Yeah, because NBC.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, but I just think it's not like WWE doesn't have the library to fill out a third hour of TV. It's not like they can't make 2 hours of TV work either. I think they could. I think they could give the roster a good amount of time. As we see China come out here, I think this is the first woman, right? Or did she come out a few years before? Is this the first time that?
I think. I think this may have been the first time.
Find out for sure. We like to know what we're talking about on this show, so we'll always fact check every once in a while.
Oh, China over the top, but she landed on the apron. Great balance by the ninth wonder of the world. Great athletic move there by her.
It's really not supposed to be personal.
Oh, wait a minute, China, what's she gonna do here? Wait a minute, what's she gonna do here? China, turn this.
Eliminated Jericho, and then Big Boss Man just knocked China out.
She gets her revenge.
Big Boss Man. His best character was in the 80s and 90s.
Really? You think so?
His original Big Boss Man character.
Maybe it's just because, again, like I grew up as a kid, like during where he was still wearing the black suit and I was playing the games and stuff. But I love Big Boss Man during this time, except for the WrestleMania 15 match.
I wasn't a big fan because, I guess when they brought him in, you could kind of take him seriously. But after that, he just entered Gooberville.
Yeah.
He was a Goober mid-carder after a while.
I remember they brought him back in
you couldn't take him seriously.
Yeah, I remember they brought him back in 2002 to kind of. Gosh, I don't even remember.
And then with Al Snow's dog, they had Big Boss Man and some stupid gimmicks.
99. I forget who was he with in 2002. I think he was like Vince McMahon's against Flair. Maybe I forget. But I want to interrupt myself. This is something I don't like about the Royal Rumble is having people. I get it, I understand, but having people who competed earlier in the night come out and be in the Rumble. I think that's something that gives the Rumble its flares. You never know who's going to show up, but when you have somebody that you've already seen on the night, I don't know. It just kind of It's never been my favorite thing. I know one of the big ones recently was Roman a few years ago was in a match earlier, and then he came out at number 30, and people just shit on it. I like the surprise. I like different people. I like seeing just a random guy. If it's an old legend, like I don't know, somebody that I think that I'm sure we'll talk about on our preview show, but somebody I think we could see surprisingly on the pay-per-view is Rob Van Dam. I know his contract with Impact went up, but I'd pop for Rob Van Dam.
It'll be a nostalgia entrance.
But here again, I mean, Road Dogg already competed on this show. Farouk already competed on the show. Jericho and China. I just feel like
listen, keep in mind that there was one roster.
That's true.
One roster with 1 to 2 hours of Raw and 1 to 2 hours of SmackDown at that time.
That's fair.
So you had a little bit of a limited TV time weekly.
I just think
you had one roster.
I just think it's kind of a cop out that they still do it. You know, you still see the people who competed.
You will probably see that this year.
I'm pretty sure the number is
possibly Goldberg.
I'm pretty sure the number's up to like 14 announced for the men and 13 announced for the women's match. Again, that's another thing I don't like. I don't like that they announced.
I think they'll throw in a couple NXT guys. I think you're going to see Damian Priest come up.
That was the first one that I thought of. I think we might see Cole again. Maybe O'Reilly. O'Reilly's kind of been getting a rub recently.
They'll test it out.
Why
not? You have them on USA Network. They're pretty much a third. They're pretty much the third brand, and probably the best brand.
Yeah, they don't think so, but
smart fans think so.
It's Leaf Cassidy.
No, Leaf Cassidy, a former part of the Rockers.
That's crazy.
You knew that, right?
Yeah, wasn't he like the new Rockers?
The new Rockers, yeah. Yeah, Leaf Cassidy and Jannetty.
There goes Bulldog, kind of unceremoniously dumped over the top rope there.
Al Snow also used to be known as Shinobi.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
Back in '95.
Yes, I knew he had. Again, there's some bad gimmicks at WWE.
Al Snow had a couple different gimmicks.
Who was the guy? It's like a green and yellow mask. Was that Snow? No, that was
Justin Incredible.
Justin Incredible. That's who it was. Yeah.
Episode 25, baby.
What was his character's name? I forget.
Aldo Montoya, Manowar. Aldo Montoya.
That's right.
Yeah. And then he was PJ Parker.
Yeah.
Something like that. PJ something.
Honestly, man, I don't even know what number we're at.
I think we're like 17 or 18 somewhere.
There we go.
It's
21. This is number 21.
Hello, ladies.
Have you seen Al Snow's Twitter account? I'm pretty sure it got deactivated, but
here's Colin Ty again. No, I haven't. What happened with that?
He was just saying some weird stuff. A weird person, very weird dude. So I actually heard a story that the reason Taka Michinoku didn't come out for that interference was because he actually got injured the last time that they interfered. The second time he got thrown over the top rope and had to be sent to the hospital.
Oh.
That right there. That's perfect timing.
He probably concussed.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be gone for a few weeks.
Under the turnbuckles, holding on like he was hanging out an airplane door.
I don't even remember Hardcore Holly coming in. When did he come in?
That's Crash.
A Crash Holly. There you go.
Looks like Crash. He's dead too.
Is he really?
Yeah. He was at a party or something. He died in his own vomit.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, alcohol poisoning.
It's a big man. It's Prince Albert.
Prince Albert or Lord Tensai. Edge just again another
Lord
guy
Tensai.
kind of ceremoniously dropped over the top rope.
We didn't get to see the
Lord Tensai. I remember his debut. I think his debut match was against John Cena, or
Debuted against Cena.
I remember that. I was there for that.
Were people booing? Like I remember hearing a story that they were like just yelling Albert at him and A-Train and
I don't know if they were booing. I think maybe there could have been some cheers because he was beating on Cena, but
Yeah.
I don't clearly remember.
well, that's after Cena. I'm pretty sure that was
After 28.
after Cena beat Lesnar at Extreme Rules, but before he lost to John Laurinaitis at Over the Limit. I think that's what that pay-per-view was.
Lost man in the far corner over there. A little road dog. Everybody's taking up a territory.
I could have sworn, let me see, 29, 28 Miami. I gotta.
29 was in New York. That was Punk and
Okay, so Lesnar attacked Cena the night after 28,
yes, and they
and I
set up,
think Ryback attacked Cena the night after 29,
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah,
turning on him in Jersey.
again, another guy. Here comes Hardcore Holly. Just, I get it. I know what you mean, like one roster, but again, it just seems like something that they still do. I hope that this year there might be one or two repeats, but not the women's match. I understand because of the lack of just numbers on the women's roster, but
They'll throw in some NXT divas in there.
I think that we'll see some legends again too.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley's gonna be called up.
I just don't think that there's really an excuse for WWE not having or having more than like two people from earlier in the show appear in the Rumble. In the men's match, at least. I mean, there's just so many legends that I'm sure you could get for one night. And
Prince Albert eyeballing the boss man. Boom! Right in the back of the head. Prince Albert nailing the boss man.
I wonder how, if RVD shows up, how he's going to move around the ring.
yeah, I'm interested too. I'm kind of excited to see that. I was thinking about, I was talking with one of my buddies about that, and I was like, we could see RVD come up at the Rumble. I know his contract with Impact's over, so I think it'd be a good pop. I mean, again, we talked about this for a while, but I think here comes The Rock.
Look at the fans explode.
But yeah, I think the WWE knows especially with Sting getting his first match announced now at Revolution, which I actually think is the week before Fastlane. I think it's the weekend before.
Uh-huh.
But I think with AEW bringing in Sting, I think WWE knows that they need to make a big splash, make a big move, and I think we're going to see something at the Rumble that a lot of people don't expect, whether that's a return of shit. I mean, maybe, gosh, please no. Maybe The Rock. I mean, I know that he's rumored, and I know it's more than unlikely, but I know that this is a chance that we could see him. They could still build to that match. I don't know if they'll really build the Roman Reigns story for 2.5 years, but I probably don't even. I really don't even think WWE knows what they're doing.
It's just about to be eliminated by Hardcore Holly.
He did. He guaranteed a victory, but unfortunately, The Rock also painted a big bullseye on his own back when he called everybody a jabroni.
Tremendous powerbomb by Testo Crash Holly. Taking the air out of the Holly cousin.
Wait for that taxi cab to come riding down here next.
Holly up on the top rope.
See who's next.
Billy Gunn.
He had a big female pop. Right after The Rock.
fortunate to retain the tag team titles.
Not a very star-studded
I was just about to
Rumble
say
match to talk about.
Just about to say this. The ring is kind of filling up with a bunch of jobbers and a bunch of jobbers in the Rock. I mean, really, the only. I mean,
You can tell at this moment that Rock is the clear favorite.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
I mean, at the time, really, outside of Rock and I guess the New Age Outlaws. I mean, who's the next big guy in the ring? You know, who's the next Test? Maybe.
Bob Holly.
I guess. Yes, yeah. Maybe Val Venus was after the choppy or beepy. I mean, yeah, like, you know, again, you were there. I mean, is the fan sense going into the match that The Rock is going to win? I mean, we know Stone Cold isn't healthy enough, and
we had an idea Rock was winning this Rumble.
I mean, yeah, Taker's gone. I mean,
yeah,
Triple H and McFoley are already in the already had a match earlier. I guess is the Big Show the really the only competition outside of maybe Rikishi that the fans thought of that could possibly
win a Rumble? Oh yeah, absolutely. I had that Big Show shirt, by the way.
That's awesome.
Big Show was just fresh after losing the title a couple weeks prior.
Still weird to think that the Big Show was title holder. It never seemed like he really got a lot of time with the title.
Yeah, he had that title from Survivor Series '99. He had one title defense against Big Boss Man in December, and then lost it to Triple H January 4th on Raw.
Was that the Big Boss Man? Was that the setting up after the funeral?
Yes.
Oh, that's a great segment.
Big Boss Man's Big Show's dad died, and Big Boss Man was at the cemetery.
Oh, that is a great. That's a great segment.
Why didn't you just throw him out of the ring like that? No! And the Big Show putting down Prince Albert, who ain't no lightweight. What do you got now? Uh-oh, Bradshaw, another acolyte, and another acolyte in the foul mood.
When did Eddie Guerrero, Saturn, Dean Malenko, and Benoit show up? Was it 2000 or 2001?
It was 2000, but I want to say it was after Mania.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Let me check. No, I know that
it was on a Raw.
Yeah, it was because they were in the crowd. Let's find out. Never mind.
Where'd he come from? Farouk and Bradshaw took apart the posse. Do not venture down that alleyway. It's dangerous. But the Outlaws have eliminated Bradshaw.
What'd you find?
They actually debuted
Hardcore Holly has got the Big Show, at least on the Big Show.
a week later on Raw after this. So not the next night, but the following week they were in the crowd.
That was a big Raw. That was in Houston, by the way. That's a good Raw to watch.
The 31st.
If you want to watch a good Raw, I think it was that or the week after. I think it was the week after, from Houston, Texas. That was a hot crowd. If you ever want to see what a hot crowd looks like, that Raw when they debuted in the ring.
I'm trying to think. There was a Raw in 2000, and it was like the main event was Too Cool, and The Rock. Oh, maybe it was this one. Was this the one that you're thinking of? It is February 7th. It's the following week in Dallas. The main event is the Radicals Chris Benoit, Malenko, Saturn, Triple H, and X-Pac versus Cactus Jack, Rikishi, Too Cool, and The Rock. I've seen that match.
It may have been that, but there was one a Raw in like Houston, and I think that was there was a Raw in Houston that I specifically remember.
That one was in Dallas. Find out.
Kane, I forgot about Kane.
Yeah, is Kane a viable option for the fans here? I mean, do you guys?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't remember like if at that time that Kane was a viable option to win. But I mean, I just totally forgot that Kane was in this one.
Everybody's been on the rock.
Al Snow tried everything he could to put a rock down by the rock on hardcore hop. Al Snow tried everything he could think of.
I think this is the first time I've watched a full pay-per-view in a while. Billy Gunn.
Look at Big Show carrying Billy, and there's.
We were talking about him just earlier.
Look at this. These girls are better looking than the ones in the Diva contest earlier on in the night.
Roll of his jacket says "Roll of Fatty for the Pimp Daddy." I heard on that Dark Side of the Ring that he got like just absolutely stoned out of his mind for every match. Like wrestled every match. I don't doubt it, honestly. I really don't doubt that the Godfather was.
The whole team is a lot better looking than the Diva contest that they had.
Yeah, exactly. Funaki is
Jerry Lawler.
Good. I love Funaki.
Jerry Lawler is having the time of his life right now.
Can we see Tucker get eliminated one more time? Oh, I love this. Watch your face.
Godfather finally in the ring.
Oh, they keep showing Taka Michinoku getting absolutely destroyed.
Vince McMahon is probably making them show it again and again and laughing backstage.
He's probably laughing, exactly.
Well, the Godfather has got business on his mind here.
Here we go, number 30. X-Pac. Talk about a kind of underwhelming number 30. No offense to X-Pac. But again, another guy that, I know we talked about this. WWE was really ravaged with some injuries during this year, but another guy that we had seen already on the show as he got involved in the New Age Outlaws match.
Yeah, Taker was out for whatever reason, and Stone Cold was out for injury.
Yeah.
So that's two major names right there.
Yeah. And again, like we talked about, Triple H and Cactus Jack already just had the street fight the match before.
Yep.
I mean, I just think that, and again, you can't. Timing is whatever. You can't change anything about it. But man, if they would have gotten the Radicals just 8 days before, I mean, for the Royal Rumble. Think about the star power of this match instantly goes up. And I am sure again, we've talked about how this is a top 5 Royal Rumble, but I think the quality of this match instantly goes up if those 4 are in this match.
At least the intrigue.
Yeah.
You have Benoit in there, you have Guerrero in there.
We see Billy Gunn eliminate his tag team partner.
But come 2002, WWE didn't have a problem with star power.
I mean, this is, we're getting to the Final 4 here. This is kind of an Attitude Era who's who. I mean, we're in the Final 4, but the 6 people, surrounding the ring right now, you got New Age Outlaws, Kane, X-Pac, Rock, and the Big Show. And just like that, X-Pac is absolutely thrown over the top.
But Kane is still in it as well. Come up for being number 30. And X-Pac's back. X-Pac, I don't think the referee.
Kane and X-Pac, former tag partners.
The referees were out there trying to break up the fight between Kane and the UA Download. Oh, X-Pac,
Final four.
Rock and Big Show. Final four of the Royal Rumble. There's a print right there, Kane. Oh, man. X-Pac landed with both feet in his
Okay, so I wasn't wrong. I took my eye off the screen for a second. I knew X-Pac got eliminated, and then they said Final Four again. I was like, wait a second, didn't he just get taken out?
Kane is going to try to load up the show. Oh. And the Rock hammering on X-Pac. Oh, spinning heel kick by X-Pac.
I always love that spinning heel kick by X-Pac.
X-Pac eliminates the Rock. Look out. The show's
Oh, yeah.
Kane. The Kane broke the Big Show's grip. The Big Red Machine squirms to the ends of Fury. But it doesn't leave it down. The Big
It's athletic as hell to see Kane pull that off.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
There's another one. Back-to-back moves right there.
Oh.
He gets taken out because Kane by X-Pac.
Could X-Pac be headed to WrestleMania 60 in the main event?
Again, I thought he was already eliminated.
He's getting tossed out.
He's eliminated now. Don't worry. No confusion with that one.
Here we go.
I mean, is it a foregone conclusion now? You know, for the fans, it's The Rock's time. He's gonna win this.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah, I kind of had the vibe that Rock was going to win it at this point.
What a great move! What a great move! Such a great. I love the People's Elbow.
Here we go.
Big choke slam right there by Big Show. Big Show could really sell that choke slam. I mean, he'd make it look bad. I loved when he kind of throw him to the ground almost, you know, not fully drive them to the ground, just throw him like he did right there. I think he used to do the choke slam really, really well.
Yeah. Here we go.
Goodbye, Rock. I come down picking the Big Show. The Big Show is toying with the Rock. He's picking the side. Here he goes. The Big Show's over.
Lucky camera work right there, but yeah, man, WWE. I talked about it earlier. That's one of the more controversial finishes in Royal Rumble history, and I think
from that angle, The Rock won the Rumble.
Yeah.
They don't show the camera angles until like the next line of Raw and SmackDown.
But I think they did a great job of changing that. You know, like they realized, oh shit, you know, Rock got eliminated. Really, how do we fix this to where we're still on the road to WrestleMania that we wanted to? I think they did a really good job with that storyline. Yeah, man.
Yes, they did a great job with that storyline.
That's the 2000 Royal Rumble. It seemed like it went by really quickly, but yeah, man, The Rock with a huge win. Kind of, he had the match with Austin at WrestleMania 15. That wasn't of their three. Definitely was the worst. And I think this is the time that The Rock just really starts to. This pay-per-view really kind of built the career for two wrestlers in both Triple H not built the career, but made two wrestlers main event stars in Triple H and The Rock.
So as of now, it's The Rock versus Triple H at WrestleMania 16. But as we know, the Big Show is going to fight this and prove that The Rock was in fact eliminated, causing controversy. Big Show getting in there. Mick Foley finding his way into the main event.
Maybe it's the sight we've seen in 1 week. Maybe it's The Rock, man. You never know.
And the millions and millions are chanting The Rock's name
That would be the best kept secret in wrestling.
Just won the Royal Rumble right here in New York City.
That would definitely be a moment that can rival the Sting debut for AEW.
The Rock can honestly say, finally, The Rock is going to WrestleMania. If you smell,
Oh, shoot.
The Rock,
Oh, look out! It's a big show.
Big Show.
The Big Show's he's a star in the Rock. And the Big
You think
Show
this was planned, or you think they showed him in the back that Rock got eliminated and they just told him to run out?
I think what you just said.
The Big Show, but despite
You think it was kind of well, shit, here we go. Let's just end the show with some more controversy to lead into. Again, you always got to lead into the next night. You always got to build intrigue. And I mean, the Big Show obviously has a reason to come out and continue the fight there.
The Big Show is a favorite. He should have won this thing, but The Rock used the Big Show's own momentum and The Rock's great athleticism to prevent elimination. And the Big Show will never forget this Royal Rumble, and neither will we. Take a look at it one more time. I thought The Rock was history. Big Show trying, but The Rock grabbed that top. Hung up in the Big Show's own way.
Look at the fans pop for that win.
And the Big Show came back on the attack. Ladies and gentlemen, what a Royal Rumble it has been. Thank you very much for being with us. Good night from New York City.
Just like that, man. That wraps up Royal Rumble 2000.
Wow.
2 hours and 46 minutes.
Yes, what a show. It had its peaks and valleys for sure, but it had some more good moments than anything. The Royal Rumble match itself wasn't the most star-studded match I've seen. The undercard was great.
Yeah.
Absolutely good.
A very Attitude Era style pay-per-view. You got your quick matches, you got your one or two big matches, and then you just gotta throw there's some respect to the car crash that was that table match. But yeah, I agree. I think the Royal Rumble definitely, 2001 is obviously to most people regarded as the best Rumble. I mean, it's so star-studded. But yeah, 2000 was good, man. I really enjoyed that one. I haven't seen it, and I honestly don't know if I've ever watched the pay-per-view fully since, until now. So yeah, it was good. It was good to watch.
Yeah, Royal Rumble 2000 had some moments. I mean, the moments that always sticks out to me is Taz's debut, Jeff Hardy jumping off of the entrance, and the Rock and the Big Show spot that we just saw, and then Mick Foley, Triple H was great the whole match. So definitely awesome pay-per-view. Good choice by the few of you guys that voted. Awesome. But that wraps up our watch along. We will be next week is gonna be a big week for us. We got I'm sure we'll be talking Royal Rumble predictions. Then we got our post show immediately after the Royal Rumble, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
So we got some wrestling coming up, and then we got Takeover a couple weeks after that. We're in it. We're in WrestleMania season.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know if the Royal Rumble will be as good as 2000, but you can't go wrong with two Royal Rumble matches in a pay-per-view. We're gonna get a last man standing match. I honestly don't even know the rest of the card. I'm sure WWE doesn't even know either. But yeah, it should be a really good pay-per-view. I'm excited to see what WWE pulls out. I really do expect there to be some surprises. I really think we're gonna have to build to a 2-night WrestleMania again. You're gonna have to pull something out of your sleeve. So whether it's Cena, Rock, maybe it's even maybe it's super surprise, but maybe it's CM Punk. I think we're gonna see something crazy go down at the Royal Rumble.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we are just 1 week away. For those of you guys that are watching and listening, Deep Six Pro Wrestling Podcast. For those of you guys that are watching, this will also be available on the podcast early this week coming up. But make sure you subscribe to YouTube, Twitter, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify. But especially make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you guys can get the predictions and the post show. Those will not be available on iTunes, but they'll be available on YouTube. So we need to make sure you guys get subscribed to that so that you can be a part of the Royal Rumble post show next Sunday. We'll have another show in between. A lot to look forward to this week. Tommy, thank you so much for hopping on once again.
Appreciate it, man.
And as we are taping this is Saturday afternoon. A big night tonight, heading out to the city, and then hopefully get home in time for the Conor McGregor match. So lots to look forward to these next couple days. But to all you guys who are watching and listening, we will be talking to you soon. You guys have an awesome night.